Mother, man.
Hey, this is Kelsey Winter from Winter's Gore. You are listening to Murder Metal Mayhem.
Spreading faster than a case of the clap in a trailer court. Able to shatter eardrums within a 666-mile radius. A podcast more brutal than all the rest. It's Murder Metal Mayhem! All right. Chris, it's Tuesday, man.
Oh, yeah. What the fuck is going on?
Fucking new Murder Metal Mayhem is what's going on. We're here in Horns High Studios for the Horns High Podcast Network, episode 162 going on tonight. Almost at the end of the year, gentlemen.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Close.
Got Chris and Joey in here with me, and Stephanie from Toledo. The 419 queen herself is here in the studio.
419, represent.
Christmas is almost here. Anybody got any good holiday plans? Anything going on with you? You're going to your folks' house,
Yeah,
right?
I'll go to my parents' house, and then I got to work
Cool.
at 6 in the morning the next morning. So
Oh, God.
that'll be a quick day, but that's all right.
That's
yeah.
cool. That's cool.
I ain't really got
And
shit going on.
Stephanie's here visiting, so you're going to be hanging out with Joey here for the holidays?
I'll be at work saving lives. So.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to be back at work. Okay.
Yeah, she has to leave tomorrow, but
Oh, okay.
made it down for the show tonight.
Oh, that's
We're celebrating Yule today.
Yeah, today's the winter solstice.
There you go. There you go. And
Some
Chris,
witch shit.
what about Shawback
Dude, we
Christmas?
don't do
Any-
shit on Christmas.
No,
You
y'all do
guys
it. Y'all do it
celebrate
later.
in-
Yeah, we
January,
do it later.
right?
Yeah, after the first of the year. So I'll probably just drink a bunch of beer by myself or something.
Right.
I'll tell you some crazy shit is the Shawback Nation has had this zombie dog there for fucking years and years. And, like, you would take bets on how long it would last. 'Cause it's,
Yeah, for real.
like, every day you walk there and it's still there. You're like, holy shit, you're
Is he,
still alive.
dude, it was
It's
like
your dog or just the dog in the
his
neighborhood?
parents.
my mom and
dog.
dad's
Oh,
dog.
okay.
But unfortunately now they're going to put him down next
Oh,
week.
that sucks.
But
Can't take bets on it no more because
No.
now we know when it is.
I
Right.
really thought that dog was going to live forever. Like
it
Wow.
just straight up zombie dog, bro.
Unbelievable. Well, that's too bad, though. So we're here. It's almost Christmas. Chris, what shirt you got on over there today?
I got my Cannibal Corpse Butchered at Birth hoodie on that Joey here fucking hooked me up with.
Nice.
And I just, my Murder Machine clothing fucking work shirt. I fucking put the back patch on and shit.
Very cool.
So hell yeah.
Awesome. And your Goremonger hat.
My Goremonger hat with the Murder
nice.
Machine button.
That's
hell
very
yeah.
cool. Stephanie, what about you over there? What you got going on?
I think my shirt says, let's watch horror movies and chill or something like that.
Okay. All right. Well, that fits with what we got going on in here. And Joey, you are just beyond festive over there.
I'm decked out. Yeah, I'm
You're just like fucking
holiday style with the shark ugly sweater and the fucking
styling.
the lit hat.
The lit.
It doesn't
no
work.
mustache or anything.
No, and I'm fucking gay faced today because accidentally, you wake up at 5 in the morning, you go to shave.
Right. Sometimes there's
like, fuck, I
mishaps.
fucked up.
Okay, I'm gonna tell.
why I
it-
don't shave.
This is funny too. This is funny too. But so like in the morning, I'm waking up and like, oh man, fuck it. I get up for work every morning about 5 and fucking jump in the shower and gotta go to work.
Yeah, I get
so
up
I
then,
so
too.
I get up and I'm like, man, I gotta shave because fucking my girlfriend was coming down, look presentable. And fucking first thing I did was fucked up my face, shaving the fucking goatee, and I was like, fuck, so I cut it all off. And then I go in the shower and I go to clean my junk up, look nice. And I think I do a good job at 5 in the morning. And then I go to take a piss at work, I look down and I got like half hair on one ball, no hair on the other. Like,
Wow.
remember Fire Marshal Bill, Jim
Yeah,
Carrey?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what the hair looked like. So yeah.
Oh, damn. All kinds of mishaps.
Oh, man.
Wow. All right. Well, you're sporting that shark Christmas sweater. Though.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
pretty crazy.
Yeah,
is
I work
badass.
in retail and fucking, I've been Christmased out all fucking week. And
Right.
actually, tomorrow is ugly sweater day at work, but the way I work and shit, like all year round, I'm going to have a short sleeve shirt. I can't wear fucking sleeves because I'm fucking just moving all the time. And I'm burning up and shit.
Right.
Right.
And so fucking, I can't wear no fucking sweater at work. So
Yeah,
I'm not
I'm
going to
not
wear
a
this,
sweater
but I
guy
am going to
either.
wear the Slayer shirt that I got from Ray.
Yeah, yeah.
Rock that tomorrow. So.
Oh yeah, very cool. All right, and I've got my Murder Metal Mayhem T-shirt
Fuck
on,
yeah.
the Jeff Gaither
Gaither.
designed shirt, so it looked like a good one for tonight.
All of us and CK.
I'm gonna bust out my Geen next week.
Yeah,
got
yeah.
to. And I've got my votive shirt. I've been holding off because we're gonna be. My next turn is gonna be votive
Yeah.
as the band, so I'm holding out, and I'm gonna bust it out for that one. So. And I found a really cool new T-shirt spot. I'll share it with you guys. I'm not going to give them a free plug unless they send us some cool shit. But I got lost in like endless fucking pages
Yeah.
of cool shirts, band, horror, TV, like a random cool shit.
Yeah.
I'll have to share with you guys because it's really good. Prices are okay. I ordered one shirt just to see how it is, but there's like 6 of them I probably would order.
As long as it don't come back like the Iceman shirt.
That one,
Right.
yeah.
Definitely not.
That
Yeah,
was like
that's
the fucking anti-wicking. Fucking,
that's why I'm holding off, because that thing's like a ballet dancer fucking shirt. Yeah. Definitely not going to fit my big ass. Now, last week we did a crazy one on Anatoly Moskvin. Chris, one that you picked, the Doll Man. Pretty crazy stuff, man.
Fucking mentally fucking deranged is what he was. Fuck. Bring him back from the dead and shit. Fucking
Yeah.
zombies.
Digging up dead girls from the cemetery, bringing them home, and making dolls out of them, Joey. That was kind of wild.
I thought that was a good one.
Yeah, it was a good one. Stephanie, you heard it. You
Yeah.
You seemed
It
to
was-
like that.
Yep. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a crazy story, and one of the stranger ones that we've done. And I did the metal feature on the Swedish thrash band Warfect.
Perfect.
Definitely like those guys, and shared a couple good Mayhem stories.
Hell
and
yeah.
Killer cage match, Christmas karaoke, and just the usual stupidity.
Usual
So
fucking retardation.
exactly. So if you missed episode 161, go give that one a listen. We were just passing 800 to that one when I checked it today, so that's cool. Tonight, though, we got a good one for you, a little different type of story for us, but many people have seen The Keepers docuseries on Netflix. It's been on our list, I think, since we started this, because it's been out for a while.
Right.
It's been nominated for, or was nominated for an Emmy, so that's, impressive. And it's the story about sexual abuse at a Catholic high school in Baltimore and a murder of one of the nuns who taught at the school, a very beloved staff member. And some suspect that the girls that were being abused had gone to her about what was going on and that she was getting ready to go to the police. And so maybe she was murdered to keep her quiet. Who knows? It's a fascinating,
Nothing like
very
that
sad
happens in
story.
the Catholic fucking. Nothing like that ever happens.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me, honestly. They're fucked up. I did an interview with Teresa Lancaster. She was on the docuseries. She's one of the victims of the sexual abuse at the hand of Father Maskell. So really fucked up. She's an attorney now, so she overcame that and became a lawyer like her dad. She wrote a book about her experience, and you'll hear a clip from that interview in our murder segment. So we've had a number of listeners very excited that we were doing The Keepers, so we're giving them what they want. And we thought, hey,
yeah.
Christmas time, what a better time of year to do a good priest scandal story.
Man, if you guys are digging this shit, fucking share it around, spread the word about Murder Metal Mayhem, get some people listening. We're trying to fucking jump our numbers a little bit.
Yeah,
We've
yeah.
been doing this for a little while, so fucking,
Yeah,
need
yeah.
to see a little spike.
That's right. Now, Chris, you got the horns tonight in the metal segment. And
Yeah, dude,
who are you
fucking
doing
Municipal
tonight?
Waste, baby. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, their songs. I mean, you sent me the song you wanted me to play. I'm
Right.
like, oh yeah, that's a very Shawbackian type of thing. So it should be killer. I love learning about bands I don't know anything about.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard them, but I don't know much about their history or
Right.
anything. So Chris is going to do that tonight, and I got a lost classic for you. Somewhat inspired by our episode last week, so I'll share that with you. And some other metal news, and so keep listening to the metal segment. You'll hear about all that stuff. Now, we got a killer cage match tonight. We got some listeners, Chris, who've provided some random numbers.
Our good friend Rebecca Boomsop.
Oh, hell
out there
yeah.
killing it.
She's going to be on next week.
Hell yeah,
Yep.
she is. And then we got the homie Gomo Wall Bacon.
Nice.
And fucking Michael Bain. So thank y'all for the
Yeah,
numbers,
Michael
dude.
from Canada. That's
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
So we got a good one going on in the cage tonight, Joey. Kind of a crazy matchup. What do you think, man?
Yeah, we got fucking somebody who's super infamous and somebody who's not quite so known.
Right.
But except maybe to our listeners, because they better know. But anyway, fucking, we got O.J. Simpson.
Oh, boy.
I mean, he'll fucking break in your house to steal his trophies back.
Right?
That's right.
For real.
And kill you.
And cut your ass up with a
Fuck
butcher
yeah.
knife.
But him, and then he's going to go up against fucking Kansas City's butcher, Robert Berdella.
Nice. Yeah, the fucking Kansas City Butcher, brutal stuff. They're going to have 2 objects and a variable in the cage with them to make it interesting. And, of course, we'll do that one in the Mayhem segment later on. So that'll be good. And I know we talked about it, but next week we're going to have Rebecca on. We got to have Rebecca in the cage match up against
Somebody.
We'll figure that out. Maybe we'll do like an abbreviated list, and we'll let listeners pick, and we'll figure out who she's going to fight. something
I'll be
like that.
super nice because since I don't know her personally, I won't be like super. I won't talk about her getting fucked by horses or
Right.
whatever
No,
you should. I would
nothing like
normally say in the cage match.
No, Rebecca's cool, but yeah, we don't want to upset a
No,
listener
no.
like that, especially somebody.
So I'm just putting it out there now, Rebecca. When you listen to, I'll be nice.
Right, it won't be too violent.
That's good.
The
that's
likelihood is you'll probably win. That's
Right,
probably
that's what I'm
the-
saying.
good. Very likely, but who knows, right? We have a sponsor for this whole month, Winter's Gore. Very
Fuck yeah.
cool. Kelsey Winter, the artist behind all that gruesomeness. I've got an interview clip to play in our Mayhem segment, and the entire interview is going to be posted on New Year's Eve. So you
yeah.
get to hear that.
Got some badass shit.
She does. I
feathers
mean,
and
she
the
does
ornament.
masks, keychains, fishing lures, all with body
I love
parts,
the fishing
fingers.
lures, though, man.
The fishing
finger
lures are great.
dope.
Okay, Edwin Wrist
Right?
of the Feather Thief.
Yeah, she should do the Edwin wrist
Oh,
line.
yeah,
You
that
know,
would be so
great.
awesome.
That would be great. Gruesome teddy bears. I mean, fucked up shit. wintersgore.com. Go check it out. I linked to that in the episode description. You know, it's a little late for a Christmas gift, but hey, you know, if you got a Shawback
some
Christmas, you know, after the fact, or for birthday, you know, fuck, for anything, you know, President's Day.
I tell you what, it was
whatever.
pretty cool for this Christmas, like for a couple gifts I needed, that the Painted Wraith is open now because that place was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's perfect.
That's
right?
where I got
yeah,
all
you
my
can get that
daughter's
shit.
gifts.
There you go.
is
Hell
yeah. Yeah, for sure. So wintersgore.com. Thank you, Kelsey, for sponsoring the show this month. Thanks to everybody out there listening to us. We appreciate it. We're at about 2,200 total listens this week, which is good. You know, we appreciate it. Competing with a lot of stuff going on,
Oh,
Christmas and the holidays, people
Yeah.
distracted. But guys, we are at today 477,000 total listens to Murder Metal Mayhem. Chris, that's crazy.
Like since
man.
we began. That's
Yeah.
fucking lot, dude.
Yeah, so we're closing in on 500,000. So we did a contest last week where the listeners got to pick the total number of listens for the year. And next week, the last episode of the year, we're going to announce the winner, and we're going to call him on the show and tell him or her that they won. So
Fucking
that's
right.
cool. So we appreciate everybody that
Keep
entered
on
that
listening. Like
contest.
Joey said, spread that shit around.
That's right. That's right.
Stephanie thought she was slick and just put the 666
I
number.
did.
Her guess was like whatever 666.
Oh, yeah, I think I did too. So, Chris, Joey, Stephanie, we got a lot on our plate tonight. We're going to be taking a trip to Baltimore and hopefully keep these fucking priests' hands to their goddamn self, and no more nuns are going to end up dead.
Right?
So,
Let's
Chris,
fucking get our murder on.
Hypocrites, so full of shit. Keep your mind on the altar, not on your dick. How do you sodomize over a child's cry? Denial on Sunday. Devil in disguise, you piece of shit. Sex, sin, sermon.
All right, Low 12 song, Sex
Yeah,
and Sermon.
that's old school shit.
Old school and perfect for tonight. The episode is called Sex and Sermon, and it's written about the priest scandal. That was on our 2000 Flesh of the Week album, the debut Low 12 album.
Fucking right.
I remember the day it came out, we played with Propane in Peoria, so that was pretty awesome at the Gaslight. I had to play that one of my favorites, and so why not? So, all right, here we are. We're talking about the true story that was featured on the Netflix docuseries, The Keepers. The story begins with the murder of a nun, Sister Cathy Cesnik, who is a teacher from Archbishop Keough High School in Baltimore. And there was a sexual abuse scandal going on at the school with a priest, Father Joseph Maskell, and the female students that were there. Some suspect that the reason that Sister Catherine ended up dead was because she found out about what was going on with the priest. Definitely makes you wonder.
Gotta keep her quiet, man.
That's right. We're going to talk about it. It happened in the late 60s, early 70s, and just like with any story, there's always two sides to it. And we'll talk about some differing opinions as we get into this. Now, as always, important thing to note, we know that the podcast's not family friendly. We don't do warnings, but we definitely want to make it known that we are in no way trying to poke fun at sexual abuse of any kind, especially when it's minors involved. So it's fucked up. We think that those people should be locked away for life, or maybe,
Fuck 'em.
Chris, fed to a pack of dogs.
Hell yeah, fucking wild boars.
So we are in no way trying to poke fun, but the show is meant to be, we are in the top 200 of the iTunes comedy podcast, which is kind of funny.
That's fucking
Since we are trying to do it serious, serious information delivered in a humorous way. Now, Chris, I know you just were watching the Keepers docuseries. I think a lot of our listeners are familiar with it since it's so popular.
Right.
What do you think?
Oh, I'm sure. I actually wasn't even able to make it all the way through the whole thing. So,
Well, you watched some of it.
Yeah, I
though.
did watch some of it. But yeah, I mean, it's like one of the. If you got Netflix, you've probably seen it pop up on the screen.
Oh, yeah.
If you haven't watched it, it's whatever. But it's super popular on Netflix. So.
Yeah, I think so. Now, Joey, nothing like a priest sex abuse scandal at the holidays,
Yeah.
But the horrible thing about this story is that these girls trusted this priest because of their religious convictions. They're in a Catholic school. And so that is just an absolute awful abuse of power.
Yeah, it's terrible. And the sad fact is that we fucking have heard about and know of so many other cases where people have used religion for their benefit to take
Right.
advantage of people in all sorts of ways.
Oh, yeah. Jim
Sexually
Jones,
explicit.
Koresh,
But, yeah.
Manson.
Getting motherfuckers' pensions, their fucking houses.
Right.
I mean, monetarily, sexually, all kinds of ways that people have been fucked over in the name of religion. And
That's true,
it's
man.
something that continues to happen.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Like, to this day,
so.
yeah.
Yeah, because
Definitely.
people get so wrapped up in it, they just don't want to believe it's bad.
Right.
Now, Stephanie, adolescence is obviously difficult for all of us, but girls in high school, definitely a tough go. And obviously, you're the only female here tonight, but what did you want to say about, how difficult it is as a teenager going through school as it is, let alone dealing with something heavy like this?
Yeah. I mean, high school is an awkward time for girls. They might be more vulnerable. And, I went to a Catholic high school. So I guess you probably think of the priest as like, someone you look up to. So someone you
Right.
trust. So it
Right.
might be, something happened confusing, I guess.
Yeah, it'd be very traumatic because, like you said, when you trust that person, like a parent or grandparent, any kind of abuse like that, somebody close, and in this case, like you said, looking up to because they are, the top of the heap at the school,
Right.
So this story begins with a murder. That's how the series starts. Sister Cathy Cesnik was beloved at Archbishop Keough High School there in Baltimore. She was a young nun. She was very involved at the school. She had not taken her final vows yet, though, so she wasn't a full-fledged nun at that time. The fact that the Keepers became the series it is because those girls, of course, later grew up as women that wanted to solve what happened to their sister Cathy.
Favorite fucking teacher ever, and it,
yeah,
like they said in there, she was like so close to their same age that everything, like the way she taught them, they really got into it.
Right, they
really
totally
easy.
Connected.
Right, yeah, because she was closer to their age than the other teachers and shit.
That's true. That's true. And she taught drama and English at the school. The school opened in 1965, and the girls that went there were hopeful to get accepted because it was a better option than the public school system. Lots of Catholics in Baltimore at that time, so it would have been a big deal.
That's what fucks me up too about some of this shit, like the fucking these kids that get fucking, you know, abused through these religious organizations and whatnot. Every bit of that's terrible. The fact that somebody they looked up to is terrible. Also, most of the time, these kids had some kind of parents that paid money for that.
For them to go to that school.
That's
You know what I'm
true.
saying?
Yeah,
It's more expensive,
schools,
and you're paying because you want something better for your
education,
kid.
yeah.
And then to come to find out that you fucking
That
put
happened.
them in the realm of evil, basically.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, on that note, when I interviewed Teresa Lancaster, she said she waited until her mom passed before she wrote this book because she didn't want to upset her mom, she would have known that she would have had her going to the school, and that was happening. She was very religious, so it's a big, you know, it's a lot to
And
deal
I mean,
with.
and it happens on smaller scale too, even like a babysitter, just anyone that you would trust. Like,
Right.
I don't have kids, so you know, it's harder for me to even fathom, like you guys can,
Right.
the fact of putting that, you know,
Right.
trust of your
Oh, it'd be
child
horrible.
in
Yeah.
somebody else's hands.
It'd
Yeah.
be horrible. So Sister Cathy lived in an apartment with another nun, Sister Russell, kind of an odd name.
Yeah, that
her
was her
actual
first
name
name.
was Helen, but they called her Sister Russell, so that's how she went by. Either way, they lived together. On November 7th of 1969, Sister Cathy left the apartment to go cash her check and buy a gift for her sister. She was having an engagement party, and then she went to a jewelry store. She had something picked out for her. And then she also stopped by the bakery and picked up some buns that she was going to bring somewhere because they were found in the car, abandoned. The car was found all muddy, parked in a really weird way. It was like illegally parked.
Yeah, it was
So
fucked up
somebody was in a hurry.
Yeah, the way it was parked, like you said, it was like not like in this parking slot, the curb like all the way parked in. It was like halfway out in the road or some shit like that.
Yeah, it was at the. It looked like it was at the entry for the parking lot off of a road, and
Yeah.
it was like half in the road and half like up on the curb.
Yeah,
it was
really
very
weird.
strange, but it was all muddy, and it was found by two priests who knew the nuns. They were out looking for her. One of those priests, Father Jerry Koob, will be an important part of the story. We'll talk about him later. Sister Cathy's car was last seen at 8:30 that night in her usual spot, but then the car was found several hours later, like at 3 or 4 in the morning, parked all crazy like we were saying. So Chris, definitely a lot of questions here. The docuseries, like they all do, take you on twists and turns
Right.
as the story unfolds, but
Yeah, the fact that it was muddy though makes you think that like somebody definitely
right.
took the car and parked it there without her knowledge, because like as where her body was found and everything, it was all remote and muddy.
So
and
maybe
shit.
that's how it got muddy. you
Yeah,
know?
they had her car out there, left her, and went and parked her car, trying to not very good fucking just try to hide it, but
Right. There had to be a reason why they didn't pull it into the parking lot, but maybe, I don't know. They must have, somebody maybe was coming and they had to get the hell out of there. But the car's muddy. It's parked all weird. And Joey, the searches, they've got these searches out there. They cannot find her. But 2 months later, some hunters come across some remains.
Hunters,
They always find
they're
it.
always finding it. Yeah, they're
Right.
fucking very helpful in that situation, which makes sense because they're out in places
Remote.
that nobody else is fucking hanging out.
Right.
in.
Right.
But the fact that this story happened when it did, prior to 1970, it's crazy with the way the forensic science has, advanced since then.
Oh, yeah.
That nowadays they could have took that car, found that mud that was on the vehicle,
Right.
and matched if it fucking was
Oh,
from
yeah.
that exact spot.
Dude,
where she
they
was
saw
at.
Yeah, like,
forensic files where they found like a bud off
Yeah.
of a tree.
Yeah, it
And
matched.
they
it.
DNA matched it to the fucking tree out
Yeah.
at this murder scene. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my God. It
That's-
was
Yeah.
that's
in
what
the
I'm
bed
saying.
of a truck.
Yeah.
And they matched it to a tree that was at the scene. I mean,
Yeah, like
As
the
I was saying,
minerals
like
and the
back
mu-
then,
yeah,
I
the
don't
minerals
think
and
there would have
everything.
been a
Right.
question whether that car was out there or not. They would have
Right.
been like, "Oh, it definitely
That's a
was."
good point,
I think
Joey.
it was too. Anyway,
Plus
but-
tire impressions.
Exactly, all
didn't
that.
hear about any of that. Now, one of the students at the school, Jean Wayner, she said that she remembers going out to this area. This is a very contested part of the story with Father Mescal, and he showed her the dead body. She said that she remembered brushing maggots off of the face. This becomes an important part of this argument as well. Some said she was lying because maggots wouldn't be on a body in those cold temperatures. However, the autopsy found maggots
Right.
in her mouth and in her trachea, so that's obviously not true.
And one of there's Gemma and who was the other main lady that were?
I've got it later in the
can't-
notes, but
but,
yeah, Gemma and the other lady, yeah.
But they actually went through like with the internet and everything. They was able to go back and look at like the weather from those dates
Right.
and shit,
Right,
and prove that the weather was warm enough to where it could have been maggots or whatever.
right. And the autopsy found them, so
Yeah.
she, you have to wonder.
And if fucking, if that time it was a little bit fucking warmer out and the bugs were out at that time and the fucking flies found it, obviously going into the fucking mouth area of the trachea is going to be where they're going to go, and that's where
Right.
they found them. So it does
Right.
make sense.
Exactly.
And what didn't make sense to me about this, what I never heard explained, would be an MO or a reason for him to take her out there to show her.
Right.
Why
Why-
would you show
I
her?
know.
Why
it's
would you
very,
show her
that,
body?
So that's
that
the only
makes you
thing I didn't
wonder.
get,
I
yeah.
agree. That doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense, although she claimed that he threatened her and said, see what happens,
Right.
If you
But
don't keep your
still,
mouth shut. Yeah, that
That's
don't make-
just dumb. And this guy seems cool as a cucumber about
Right.
being smart about things and being deceitful.
Remember the
So-
cucumber. Keep the cucumber in mind for the page a day.
Oh, okay.
It's just funny you said that something about a cucumber.
That's
later on.
funny. So the whole thing here with this guy's though is repressive memories, because this did not come out until 30 years later. I did watch a documentary that believed the Keepers docuseries was wrong. This guy said in his documentary that he felt that the story was not totally truthful the way it was told. And the consensus on the Keepers, he said, was that the repressive memories are common and widely accepted by the psychological community. This other show I watched said that's not true. It's very rare and it's not widely accepted by the psychology community.
Right.
So, again, like we always say, there's both sides. Don't really know. I'm certainly no expert
I have no
in
idea about that
repressive
shit.
memory, but
I don't remember what I did last night. So.
I think it's important to point out. I just want to make sure, because like with that Making a Murderer, you watch that and you think that police department completely set this dude up and tricked him and did this and that and was doing some shitty things. I'm not saying they didn't, but when you hear some of the stuff on the other side, you're like, that's an interesting point. So like that, I think the same thing with this. You see both sides of it, and it's important to look at that. The details are hazy. It was also a thing for Father Mescal to take the students out for parties where he would force them to have sex with men. He was also a military chaplain. He was very well known among the police officers. So he's got a lot of friends in high places, and accusations of the sexual abuse included police officers.
Yeah, which was fucked up in itself.
In the book, she gets into a lot of that stuff, and she's, very clearly remembers incidents where Meskill took her to these parties and forced her to have sex with these adults, which is crazy. Another priest who was mentioned in this whole mess was Father Magnus. He was the younger of the two priests at the school. He was also supposedly involved in this. And, Maskill, though, seemed like he was kind of the ringleader. At least that's the way they portray it.
When they talk about this stuff, it fucking reminds me of and this is about the same time period too, I think, but the bodies in the snow fucking murders in Detroit with the fucking kids.
Right.
But how they link all that to this huge fucking sex fucking ring that was going on up on Fox Island and all that shit out there. And Baltimore's not far from all that. And if that was a big thing that was happening, in that area at that time, it just adds more credence that this probably was fucking true.
Right.
What they were saying was happening.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, the sexual abuse is certainly no mystery, or a secret, I should say, with the Catholic Church. I mean, they've been dealing with this for decades. Now, some of the things that survivor Teresa Lancaster remembers are absolutely horrible. She overcame it, became an attorney.
But she was in her late 40s when she became an
attorney. And her dad was a lawyer, and she
Right.
always wanted to become a lawyer like her dad. And she wrote a book about her experience called Safe in Socks. It was very well written, very poignant, and you'd got a feel for somebody that went through what she did. It's unbelievable. We'll have a clip from that interview that I did with her later in this segment. She talks about a variety of older men who would come to rape her in Meskill's office and at the parties. It's just absolutely unbelievable. The book also details visits. This is just crazy. That Father Meskill took her to see a gynecologist.
Not just her. It was multiple girls. I guess. And the parents were cool about it for whatever reason. That's the fucking fuck you, dude.
You know what's fucked up is I feel like he was doing it just to make sure that she was okay down there. STDs were becoming a bigger thing, and if you're fucking pimping out these girls at these parties, you don't want to,
Right,
but on the other hand, the parents, you're probably telling them, "Oh, I'm taking her to make sure that she's staying pure."
Right.
And, playing off that way to the fucking parents where
That's
you're
very
out
possible.
there taking her and getting
Right,
her fucking,
yeah. See, that's just so fucked up, dude.
Oh,
Yeah,
no
why would you
fucking
send
way,
a
dude.
priest to take a teenage girl to a gynecologist?
I mean, but that's us saying that in 2021.
Right,
In 1975, it might have been why would you not send your priest? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just how the fucking...
Yeah, late 60s, early 70s, obviously a different time.
I don't know if there was that much known about any kind of fucking sexual controversy
think
within
so.
the churches like that back then. Especially before, media started popping up
Right,
bigger
right.
in the 70s and 80s. They could have swept all that shit easily.
Oh,
under
I'm
the
sure
fucking
they
rug.
did a lot of
Yeah.
it. The doctor would do these examinations, and he would also have sex with her. It's absolutely awful. Father Meskill raped her repeatedly in his office at the school. The fact that he was even, that this went on is absolutely horrible. But to think of it going on at the school is just unreal.
Fucking...
Yeah, I mean, he would have her called out of class to come down to his office.
and shit.
What the hell? She named the book Safe in Socks because that was the only thing that he would let her keep on of her clothing. When she was raped, she would focus on that, and that would help her get through the ordeal, which is just
That's
absolutely
fucked up,
horrible, man. Now, Stephanie, some people suspect that's how Sister Cathy ended up dead, that she may have, threatened or talked about going to the cops. What do you think? I mean, certainly a motive.
Yeah, I rewatched a little bit of The Keepers, and I think the girl that wrote the book, she said that she mentioned something to Sister Cathy, and
Right.
she said she was going to take care of it. So, I mean, it's very possible.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Chris, what do you think, man?
Oh, I fucking definitely think that's a reason for them. the whole with the police involved in everything.
Yeah, if he knew that there was even a hint that somebody was going to go talk to the cops, I could.
Right. Well, even like
not out of the realm of possibility.
Even if the cops were
priest or
involved
not.
in even if the cops were involved with the fucking priest too, with the whole thing with the girls and everything, because there were cops that were supposedly involved in it. So
that's true. That's true.
The cops ain't gonna want that shit to come out.
Exactly.
So
like Joey was saying, kind of sweep it under the rug. The medical examiner said that Sister Cathy died from blunt force trauma to the head. The case, though, is still considered unsolved today. Lots of things were brought up by the docuseries. There were also a couple of family members who were also doing some shady things. I can't remember because it's been a little while since I watched it, but there were a couple of other potential suspects mentioned. But the Keeper series seems to lean on the idea that very possible that Father Mescal, had her killed or killed her himself. But I find that very doubtful. But I don't find it out of the realm of possibility that, he might have found somebody to do it to keep her quiet. But we really don't know. The other one that they bring up is the other priest, the young priest, Father Jerry Koob. He was actually had not taken his vows either, so I don't think he was a full-fledged priest.
Right.
But he was supposedly in love with Sister Cathy. They were planning to run away together before taking their vows, and this was also contested by one of the documentaries I watched, pointing out that Koob says that Cathy told him no when he asked her to marry him, but then later in the series, in letters that they reveal that Cathy wrote, she does seem to allude to an actual relationship, instead of even a sexual relationship.
With a man instead of the Lord.
Yes. And, obviously that's taboo when you get two people become, priest and a nun that haven't taken their vows. So I don't know how that works.
I might have to look up some nun porn now.
Jerry Koob was the one that found the car that night. So that's why, again, whenever you watch a docuseries, the first person that you think did it's never the one.
Right.
And they walk you through it. I remember watching, it was a meme or something that said, like, you could sit there and watch, a 10-part docuseries and you don't know a damn thing when it's all over.
Yeah, you don't know
Nobody's
shit.
been, that one I watched, which was very similar to the one we did down south, the
Murder in
Jefferson
the
County.
Murder in the Bayou,
Yeah, Murder in the Bayou. But there was one that happened in Hannibal, Missouri, and the girl was also thought of to be in Peoria.
Oh,
and that was really good.
I know that one that you were talking about.
That was really good, but you want to talk about wanting to freaking break shit at the end of it. You're like, I don't know anything. Like, oh my God! Like, how do you not have some sort of conclusion to that?
It was
awful.
It was somewhat kind of the same watching the Sugar Babe shit.
Yeah, that shit.
It was like, okay, I watched that, and that was like, okay, what the fuck did I just watch? And that was crazy. But then whenever I got into reading the fucking articles and getting more into it for the episode, then it was like, okay, this shit makes, I'm getting the gist of everything.
Right.
Yeah, after you first watch that, you're so overwhelmed with the lack of teeth and the fucking, you're just like,
God.
Holy fuck, Sugar Babe's feet. Stephanie
it's
said
like
that,
the 4th or 5th most listened to Murder Metal Mayhem.
Stephanie said she went somewhere in the 419 to a Circle K, right?
Yeah.
And there was she walked in, there was just Sugar Babes everywhere.
Oh my God. Wow. A conglomeration of Sugar Babes. Oh my God. So, very interesting stuff here with this Jerry Koob's part of the story. He did wind up leaving the Catholic Church. He became a minister for the Methodists and got married. And he's interviewed on the series. Seems like a decent enough guy. But again, the docuseries are good for kind of stringing episodes along, bringing in new characters to the story. I get it.
Yeah.
Now, in 2017, so definitely a few years after this happened, like 30 or 40, CBS in Baltimore started to report on the sex abuse scandal at the school. There were 3 victims that had come forward. Prior to that, in 1995, Teresa Lancaster, who we've been talking about, and Jean Wayner, the other lady we mentioned, who were anonymous at the time as Jane Doe and Jane Roe. They filed a lawsuit against Father Mescal. The gynecologist, Dr. Richter, the school, the archdiocese, and the archbishop himself, Keeler, who was in charge of the whole thing.
Right.
This, of
It's a big
course,
lawsuit.
starts a fucking shitstorm. A lot of women who came forward. I saw in the docuseries that Gemma and the other lady, I'm sorry, I don't remember her name, but it's coming up here.
We're going to get that answer here.
Sorry, ma'am. But anyway, they were sending out all these cards and letters to girls that were in their class to see, did you have an experience like this? And a shitload
It was like
of them.
over 100, I think.
Yeah, it was like an avalanche of people saying, yeah, that happened to me. So this is not
Which we've
something
seen that
conjured
happen.
up.
We saw that with other Catholic stories. We saw that happen with the Boy Scouts.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This is
Fucking,
not
as soon
just a
as somebody
Catholic
gets the nerve to fucking tell their story,
Right.
other people feel like, okay, now I'm not
I can
alone
do
in
it.
this.
Right. Yeah,
Exactly.
When
Somebody
did
else did this.
I'm just curious. When did her book come out? Teresa's book.
Just this year.
Oh, okay. Because I was saying CBS started broadcasting not long ago talking about it in 2017. I wonder if it was because her book came out to give it some publicity.
No, it came out, I think, the beginning of this year,
Okay.
2021. And Wayner, the other lady, her book is coming out here. If it's not out, it's coming out
Real soon.
She wrote one. Jean Wayner did. It's like a self-help,
Right.
how she overcame it,
Right.
moved on with her life. So very fascinating. But Chris, unfortunately, suing them didn't really do a whole lot other than point some
lot
light
of
at
fucking-
this story.
Right, and open people's eyes to it, and then they just move mescal around
Yeah.
to other countries and shit.
No, that was within Baltimore. They were
Was it
moving
with
them
the-
from parish to parish. And
Oh, I thought they moved them like different towns and shit too.
I don't believe so, but I could be wrong, but I don't believe so. They were moving them just down the street. It was like, what
Which
the
is
hell?
like that's not working. If that's the way it was,
Exactly.
it's like
They're
there's not
like,
a whole
look
lot.
here, this week we need to put a little extra in the collection plates because we need to pay
Yeah, we
this
got to
lawsuit.
move old
Right.
Joe
Yeah.
Mescal again. Goddamn. But that's just awful. And Joey, the Catholic Church has been dealing with stories like this, priests sexually abusing boys, but in this case it's girls, which is certainly not as common. I talked with Teresa about this. In either case, though, it's absolutely horrible, and it affects them well into adulthood.
Yeah, it's going to be something that's going to stay with you forever. You're going to fucking completely lose trust in
Right.
most humans, especially people that you haven't known or fucking.
Right.
So it's psychologically damaging. It's fucking physically damaging. It's all the above. You don't hear it as much with girls in the church, but you hear about sex trafficking of
Right.
girls more
Right.
than boys. But you know that it happens with both.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, fucking way more common than anybody would probably like to admit, and it's fucking scary as shit. But the more that this stuff comes out and people see this, the
Right.
more likely in the future people are gonna fucking not believe the bullshit
Right.
and fucking keep a closer eye, I think.
Oh, yeah. I asked Teresa as part of the interview if you had to put kids in school today,
Yeah.
would you send them to a Catholic school? And she said, absolutely not.
Right. Well, I mean,
Yeah, no way.
of course.
Teresa and Jean would say that Sister Cathy was the only one at the school who would listen to them. They both said that she was murdered to avoid her going to the archdiocese and the police with this info. Who knows, if that would have done anything. They love to pass the buck and just move him around. Like we said, that's nothing new. They show this in the series, the various places that he went after he left there, but then ended up in a nursing home and then died of a stroke. So
Right.
he was, pretty incapacitated. At some point, somebody went to see him at the nursing home, and he was
There's
gone.
dementia.
Just not
How,
able to really talk to anybody.
How fortunate is that for him that he can't remember shit?
Yeah, exactly.
How convenient.
How convenient.
Yeah, how convenient. Yeah.
Yeah, now Stephanie, Jean told the police that Father Mescal told her when he showed her the dead body, see what happens when you say bad things about people. So, I don't know. What do you think? I mean, this whole repressed memory, she said she believes that happened. I mean, it's...
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Just like you said, the repressed memory thing, like...
brings up some questions.
Yeah.
You know,
like,
because not everybody, you know, according to the other documentary, it's much less regarded, whereas The Keepers does say that it is. So there's two different things. We don't know, but I think it makes for a compelling part of the story. You know?
Yeah. Like, you were talking about the two different documentaries and how there was... you know, one story said this and one story said that. I actually watched the Murder in the Bayou series, and that was super dramatic, kind of like The Keepers.
Right.
And then I watched a different documentary that didn't mention half of the things that one alluded to. So I think it all depends on your sources and things like that. So.
Yeah, interesting. And the guy that wrote that book, though, Murder in the Bayou, was the same guy that wrote the story about the dude that jumped off the hotel.
Yeah, in New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Zach, what was it, Zach?
Zach Bowen?
Yeah, Zach Bowen.
Yeah, that story. The same author wrote both of those books. I loved Shake the Devil Off was the Zach Bowen one. That's amazing. And I loved Murder in the Bayou as well. So... yeah, I mean, different people doing research, talking to this person or that. I think it's a healthy way to talk about a subject when you're willing to look at some different viewpoints. Because if all you're going to do is listen to one, then you know you're only getting one side of the story. So, Chris, one of the problems with these allegations made by Teresa and Jean is that they were 30 years later. Statute of limitation on that stuff is only 7 years.
Which is fucked in itself.
Yeah, and Teresa, since she's a lawyer, she fights for victims' rights.
Right.
And she's been trying to get that law changed there in Maryland to extend that beyond the 7 years.
I don't think there should be a statute of limitations on it, honestly.
Yeah?
Like the only fucking crime there is in one is murder.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. Like, there's a lot of fucked up shit out there.
If you're repeatedly serial raping girls, there should be no statute of limitations on that to fucking come out.
I would agree. So Teresa, though, is very much a believer in the repressed memories and very knowledgeable on the subject. So like I said, very, very, compelling argument for that. But some say it's unreliable, and that's why I felt at least responsible enough to bring it up.
It's fucked up because it became, I was just going to say, it became a tool for, a lot of the fucking religious people and stuff, because it's like, by the time a lot of the abuse allegations would come out, it would be past the statute.
Right.
So it's like, oh, okay, you're acknowledging this happened. No one's going to get in trouble for it, though.
Right.
So, fuck you. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, they're mostly civil suits where there's money involved. It's not a criminal prosecution in most cases. You hear of some of that, but more of them, I think, are just give them an undisclosed amount and shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
And move on. Nothing to see here. Now, strangely, only a few days after Sister Cathy disappeared in November of '69, another body is found in the same remote area where they found Sister Cathy just 2 months after that. This victim, though, identified as Joyce Malecki, she was a 20-year-old with no real tie to Mescal, but she was a member of his church. But that was a monster church and predominantly Catholic throughout Baltimore, very, very widely, known and so forth. So that in and of itself is the only tie that they know of to him.
I mean, to me, I don't care how big that church is in that city, that's a big tie. Because of all the other shit that you hear about that was going on.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
it doesn't matter how big.
That's my number. That becomes my number one suspect. Yeah, exactly.
Why would the both bodies be there? Now, I did see in the documentary they talk about that area was like a dumping ground, illegal dumping. That wasn't a landfill, but people would constantly throw shit back there. So the fact that both bodies are in the same place definitely makes me wonder, but it's also not out of the realm of possibilities because of it being a dumping site that more than one person might have got the idea to toss a body back there. But it definitely makes you wonder.
And because this is such an old story, because there's so much religious aspect involved, because so-called police were involved in the situation, right. I don't think there's no way that we could ever know like the true connections of the full story.
No.
So there might have been a lot more, and they made sure that nobody in the public really heard about any connections to make it seem like it was more unrelated. I guess.
At the time, just like, we just.
Yeah, she was 20, so she was a little bit, probably roughly the same age.
That's what I'm saying.
Cathy. Both found in the same location, so definitely makes you wonder. And this is close to Fort Meade, which is a military base. It's an army base where Meskel served as a chaplain. So that dumping site was right up against where Fort Meade was.
So he would
there
all the time,
the area, you know what I mean? So all these little things don't necessarily, mean like it's damning
it's all
evidence.
circumstantial.
Right.
Yeah.
But when you have that slow drip,
the
a
bucket
place where
fills
he would
up
have
sometime.
been, the opportunity, he's in an authoritative figure, so they have to go with him. They have to come to his office. There's no, option here. And that's the unfortunate thing about it, the abuse of power. Now, some would say she looked similar to Jean Wayner, which is the girl that said, or the woman that said when she was a girl, Meskel took her to see Sister Cathy's body.
Right.
Some say that Joyce Malecki looked similar to her. I don't know what the significance is other than are they trying to say that maybe the wrong person was killed, that somebody meant to kill Jean because she was the one that saw the body.
Right.
That's, I think, where they're going with that, but I never heard anything more than who knows, kind of throwing this out there.
Which goes back to the fact of why would you have shown the body at all?
And then it's
like, then you're telling all your fucking pervert buddies, like, hey,
I showed her the
her.
body.
And they're like, you
motherfucker,
right?
now you got to fucking get rid of her.
As an author, I think when I'm creating characters, I'm very mindful of, are they doing things that make sense for that character? Instead of looking at it how I would be in this given situation, this person is not me, it's somebody else, you know? And I can see that this is very obvious to me, like there definitely seems like, he was, had the opportunity, all these things, you kind of, add them all up and it really makes you wonder. But any one of them, it's a coincidence, but you start adding up all these coincidences and it definitely makes you wonder. And these docuseries are great at doing that. So, but the fact that if he did show her the body, it definitely doesn't make any sense unless it happened to be by accident, but I don't know why the hell you would even bring her out there knowing that this body...
I think I remember in the fucking docuseries, she said they took her out there on purpose just to show her the body.
And I mean, you got to have some fucking balls right there, because
but he thought he was invincible. He knew all the cops.
Right. The only other reason I could see, I agree with you. Like, you got to feel like you're above the law right there.
Oh yeah.
To do some dumb shit like that, because the only other way you do that is like fucking Leonard Lake and Charles Ng, and you're showing people that you kill a motherfucker because they're never gonna walk out of there.
Right. You're
like, doing it to instill fear.
They're still gonna die.
Or Toy Box, any of them that did that kind of crazy mental stuff.
There's been so many fucking homicides that have occurred, especially like with rapists, where they committed the initial act, and the fact that they got so scared that person could identify them later and that they'd be caught. That's why they killed them.
It's like, oh shit, I can't let them.
Or robberies or anything like that. You see it happen. Motherfucker rob a gas station. All of a sudden they think they're gonna get caught or whatever. whatever. So they'll fucking kill a fucking cashier over fucking $150, you know,
Right, and still get caught. And now you're doing fucking worse.
Yeah,
time
so
and
it's
shit.
crazy. Like
Right.
a lot of those homicides is because fucking people are just scared of witnesses. So witnesses are definitely fucking somebody that should be watching out. I guess
That's right.
on their backs.
Yeah,
and
they
shit.
end up missing all the time. You know, it's unfortunate. So you know, it's the other important aspect to this that may be hard for the group of us to relate to, because none of us are religious, is that strong tie to that. And that definitely, if somebody's of that mindset, like Joey, we were all saying, you know, all these ties he's got within the Catholic Church in a city that's predominantly Catholic, very powerful guy. He's got all these police friends, military. I mean, like, this guy's untouchable. So I agree with what you're saying, Joey, that just cockiness and arrogance is what, you know, I think if her memory is true, then I could see maybe in just a moment of total hubris, he just decided to show her the body. Maybe he planned on her not leaving there, and somehow that changed. You know, who knows?
Another thing is these motherfuckers too. If you're involved in what you seem to be involved in with the fucking child stuff and the basically prostitution and stuff. These fucking fathers and all that, they're probably partying pretty hard and doing some drugs back then and drinking, I would imagine, and have more of a fucking, problem with that too. So you get all fucked up and you've been up for a couple of days tripping or doing whatever you're doing and fucking want to show somebody a body to be you might not be in your normal right state of mind. True. So that could be another reason.
It's very possible, dude. Very possible. Joey, I saw in 2016, the Baltimore police started a new investigation of the murder of Joyce Malecki and exhumed the body of Father Mescal. Did you see that?
Yeah, and they fucking did DNA test to try to see, if DNA they fucking collected off her body was a match, but it wasn't.
Right.
But, I mean, who knows? Like, I think, like, if I don't feel like any of those murders that went on were probably one-on-one fucking interactions. It was probably mob action, fucking, a group of these motherfuckers, like,
take her out there,
abduct her, murder her.
Yeah, I don't.
So to just link one person is kind of like iffy. I think
I could totally see if he was the one hiring that or commanding, however that would be. To have
I feel like he would be involved for sure.
Yeah,
but to pinpoint somebody, I think, especially this long,
we're just saying, this.
I mean, they obviously felt like they had a strong enough to exhume a body isn't an easy thing,
of course,
for the county,
especially a friggin' priest.
Exactly.
Right?
So for them to get the okay to do all that, you have to have some kind of evidence or some kind of factual reason
somewhere.
Right. And then it seems like they just didn't fucking get anything out of it. So
right. It's unfortunate. So the case remains unsolved. The Keepers docuseries features two of the ladies from Keogh High School that did a lot of research. Here we go. They were the ones really that kept this going with Sister Cathy and trying to solve it. Gemma Hopkins and Abby Fitzgerald. Abby was the researcher. That's what Teresa said. She was really good at that, and Gemma was really good at connecting with people. Very personable, very smart, both of them. Awesome that they did what they did.
You could tell when she was talking to people too that she didn't trust what they said or whatever. The way she just like turn and look at the camera and just be like, "This is fucking bullshit." Like,
yeah, I mean, she was just, both of them were just so determined. It's just inspiring. It's a 7-part series. It's still on Netflix. I would suggest checking it out. But like all these stories we talk about, it's unsolved, so it's important to look at the different viewpoints. Don't just watch one thing and buy it hook, line, and sinker. I am certainly not saying any of this stuff on the Keepers is not true. I'm just saying that other people have different viewpoints, especially on the repressed memory part of it. That's the big, I think, the issue that most of them have is that,
Right.
So, Of course, the Archdiocese in Baltimore declined to be part of that Keepers series.
Why would they want to be part of that shit?
Yeah, exactly. They have denied knowing about the abuse of Father Mescal, so that doesn't surprise me.
They're like, you know how much money we paid to move him around? We're not going to fucking talk to you now.
Exactly. We had a U-Haul on like retainer with Mescal stuff. I've always had issues with the Catholic Church. I grew up, well, I didn't really grow up. My parents were not religious at all. I was baptized and I went to catechism for, I think, till I was in 8th grade, which is like Sunday school, but it was like on a Tuesday. So it was my beginning of my podcast days.
Tuesday nights.
Going to Catholic catechism. But after 8th grade, I was done with that. My dad had a very negative experience at a boys' Catholic school in New York that was like beating kids, like brutal.
No shit.
Oh, yeah, punching people, breaking noses. My dad said that he was whistling in the hallway and one of the brothers, which are the ones like the monks that run the school, they pulled him aside and said, "You have jug." And then my dad's like, "What is that?" And it was, this punishment where you came in on Saturday and you stood in the corner of a room and you didn't move until the end of the day when they told you to go home. So you didn't eat, you didn't piss, if you had to, you did it where you stood.
Fuck that.
Yeah, and that's what he got for whistling. So pretty strict stuff. Kids getting punched in the face. Yeah, brutal. So with that, like with these women went through, my dad obviously not anything like that, but still very, crazy with the abuse, physical, that he just swore he would never put his kids in a Catholic school, So I grew up with that kind of sentiment about it, so I'll be honest about that. But hey, they did settle the lawsuit with Teresa and Gene for an undisclosed amount, but the series alludes to the fact it was very small. I don't remember if like a total dollar is mentioned in here, because unfortunately it's been almost a year since I read this book, and I watched The Keepers once originally, and then I watched it about 2 months ago. And I wished I would have waited and watched it closer, because we all know from doing these every week, it's just relentless. I mean, to try to keep up with it. But, you can argue Mescal's tie to the murder. I don't see how the sexual abuse part of it could be written off, because there's so many women
that's what I'm saying.
Forward.
Even if it was like the repressed memories or whatever, there's so many with the same basic fucking story that's just like, yeah, that happens.
Yeah,
so
and
like,
Teresa's was not a repressed memory. Hers was, she remembered it happened,
Right.
So, it's hard to refute that.
Well, I'm saying a lot of the other girls that came forward, I'm sure a lot of those aren't repressed memories either. That's just like,
you're right.
Okay, like Joey said, now somebody else brought it up. I can fucking talk about this.
Right.
Like they've held it there, that it's not repressed. They just didn't talk.
Yeah, or maybe talk to just a select few, you know, that sort of thing. Chris, it's awesome that Teresa Lancaster became an attorney like her dad. She wrote the book. It's an incredibly brave thing, like we've been saying, to come out and say that.
I mean, for sure, it's definitely going to be hard, especially after 30 years of just holding in, like you said.
Right.
Like, and putting all that effort in to get past it. And like I said, she was like 48 when she became the lawyer.
That sounds right. I think she was in her 40s.
Yeah,
but
she was like late,
kids,
like, go through all that,
working,
everything, and just still push through and overcame.
Yeah, she passed the bar on the first time too. So she was awesome. A really nice lady. Talked to her, and like I said, that full interview will be coming out the day after this one comes out. So I'm going to play a clip of that. It's about 8 minutes long, and like I said, you can hear the entire. It's like 30-minute interview as a bonus episode. So check this out. That is really, really cool. Now, I think it is just unbelievably sick the way the church handled this whole thing. Like you said, you had to wind up, going through a lawsuit. Has anything changed in more recent times with cases like this, with all the attention this and the other scandals have brought forth?
Sadly, no. I've found
Wow.
it's all about the money in the church. It is a sad situation, but uh, like I'm trying to change the statute of limitations law, which would give victims their day in court. And every year I go to Annapolis and fight the law, and the church lobbyists are there. The church literally spends thousands of dollars on lobbyists to keep the archaic law in place.
Yeah, it's 7 years, isn't it?
It is,
That's
and
terrible.
it just they won't progress, and also they won't release documents. They won't transparency. I keep asking for bishop accountability, transparency, and they're not there, nowhere near.
Wow. Yeah, that's terrible because there shouldn't be, especially that short of a statute of limitations on something like that, because some of these girls, I'm sure, repress that stuff and it doesn't even come up until, much later on, maybe.
Yeah, they say the typical age for someone to come forward, be it male or female, is in their early 50s. And
Wow.
some don't even do that. So, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough. Now, what made you decide to write the book, Safe in Socks? And can you tell our listeners how you came up with that title? Because it's definitely unique.
Yeah, I've wanted to write a book since this happened to me. I always wanted to tell the world what really happened. And after the filming of The Keepers, I kind of got that fire lit in me again, and I decided to get serious about it. I found the cover was because when Maskell would abuse me, the only article of clothing he'd let me keep on was my socks. I know it might sound strange, but through all kinds of perverted abuse, I tried to focus on my socks. It was the only thing that would keep me grounded and gave me a small degree of comfort while things were going on.
Yeah, that's awful. That's absolutely awful. As a person that's written books myself, I know it's not an easy thing to do, especially when you've got, children and a career and life going on. It probably took a while for you to put it all together.
Yeah, it did. It did. I started years ago with what they call shoebox notes, where I'd have shoe boxes and different things in each box. And in my case, I even had letters from Father Maskell to the doctors where he would send me to, and them discussing my health. It was just outrageous. So I wanted to include a lot in the book, but I didn't want the book, to be, real long and dragged out.
No, I thought it was well done. And I did see today, I think it was on Facebook, that Jane Doe has a book coming out. So
Yes, she does. She and I'm just so happy for her. Her I think is going to be like a self-help type of thing where she shares how she got through her ordeal. I think all survivors approach it differently,
Oh, I'm sure it's a personal situation, and I'm glad, that she was able to put it all down and probably will feel better having gotten that word out there. Now, I advanced ordered your book as soon as I saw that you were doing it. It's very, very well done. I did like, how you added, the pictures of you as a little kid and some of that stuff. I think makes it more personal, makes it obviously personal to you as compared to what you see on The Keepers.
Right.
Now, what do you think, when I hear these kind of stories about somebody like Father Maskell and the others that were involved too, because it wasn't just him, that they moved these guys around to different churches and they never actually see any sort of punishment. And I know you said with the lawsuits and stuff, it's still the same with the church, but has it gotten any better with the way they take care of these priests that do this sort of thing?
Not really. Nothing's really changed. the Archdiocese of Baltimore has a list of credibly accused priests that they agree have been credibly accused. It's 149 names, and only a handful of them were ever criminally charged. And I just was reading earlier today about a defrocked pedophile priest, Daniel McCormick. He was released from state custody in Chicago last month. He was accused of molesting at least 25 boys.
Oh my gosh.
2 years in prison, and the rest of the time in a state-run mental facility, and they let him out last month. And
wow.
I mean, the church just doesn't take accountability. Now, there's a site called the Bishop Accountability site online, lists pedophile priests, and it's amazing. You can go there and see the numbers of these abusers, and oftentimes they're defrocked by the church, but that doesn't get rid of them. They end up moving into communities. They're not on a sex offenders list.
Wow.
And they could be living next to your family with children, and the church doesn't take responsibility at all.
And is it just a money thing that they don't want that liability and those lawsuits? Is that part of it, and maybe the stigma of it all?
I think it is the money thing personally. I've talked to a lot of people, and they say that they want to help these survivors, but they don't. It's just a sleight of hand, really.
Wow. Yeah, that's unbelievable. I mean, that when I watched The Keepers, I wanted to jump through the screen, you know. I mean, I was so angry. Yeah. And I kept watching it and hoping that maybe against hope that he would actually, pay for what he did. And he winds up, he died in like a nursing home, right? In an older age.
He was in his 60s.
Oh, okay. I thought he was older than that.
And he had a stroke, they say. There's speculation as to what really happened to him. So, I mean, people jump on just about anything.
Sure.
But I heard it was a stroke, and he died in a nursing home. I can't recall the name, but it was
right
by the church.
Wow. Yeah, it's just unbelievable to see that kind of thing. Now, what would you, if you were, a parent of today with school-age children, would you send them to Catholic school? And the answer is a big negative.
Nope.
So, yeah, that was cool of Teresa to take the time out to talk to me. And Joey, Jean Wayner also just published her own book, more of a self-help book, but it was good that she was able to get her word out. She wanted to write a book about her experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, I mean, she sees, Teresa's book come out.
Right.
You don't want to tell the exact same story because it's already out there. So you just have to put it, show how you're getting past it. And self-help is definitely a very positive way to do it. And for especially people that might be in her situation that have never spoken on things or anything, to be able to cope with things and understand there's somebody else with them.
Yeah, I agree. And Stephanie, I'm sure as a woman, you could sympathize with these women and how brave it would be to come out and talk about something like that,
Yeah, I mean, it's probably certainly not easy to just talk about sexual abuse, period.
Right.
But then to throw in the Catholic Church on top of it.
Right.
There's been so many people who've tried to fight, cases agained the Catholic Church.
Yeah, they have an endless supply of money.
Yeah. So
tax-free money.
So that's like, double-edged sword right there.
Yeah, I agree. It's just it's like a mountain to fight these people, but that's why my hat's off to the two of them to do that.
Yeah, definitely.
I also saw a story about it. This is funny. I was researching this, and a Toledo priest, Father Robinson. Stephanie, you're from the Toledo area, and here we get this Toledo priest arrested and convicted of the 1980 murder of a nun. Very similar things with the Keepers, similar, the whole, obviously the priest and this nun.
Conspiracy.
Yeah, and all this stuff. But he was convicted and winds up dying in prison. Did you know about that story?
Yeah, Sister Margaret M. Paul. It took, I think, 20, 30 years for him to be convicted. Yeah. And they alluded that it was satanic.
Oh, wow.
Sex scandal. And she had stab wounds in the shape of an upside down cross.
Oh, wow.
And they say that it was Father Robinson's letter opener. That
was the weapon.
Oh, wow. That's messed up.
Fucking check that out, dude.
Yeah, that might be an interesting story for us to do, but I couldn't resist mentioning this since we had Stephanie here tonight in the 419, and obviously my intuition was right because she nailed it, Joey, with some spot on the off the cuff facts. So thank you for that. So Chris, Joey, Stephanie, anything you guys want to add to this story? Anything we didn't cover?
I don't have anything.
Okay.
Nope.
No. All right. Well, very cool. I believe Teresa and Jean's accounts of what happened here. In my opinion, I think it's very feasible that Meskill may have had something to do with this murder of Sister Cathy. I don't know.
I think so. More than likely, I'm going to
go
with
I think, like Joey said, some sort of, whether he had it done or he and somebody, I don't know. But I don't think he would have done anything himself.
No, I feel like it was a group of instigators,
right?
Accomplices together,
right? I can also see him taking Jean out to the body to shut her up, and that he was so arrogant to think that she wasn't going to go and tell somebody.
Right.
He thought he had so much control over her.
Yeah.
That if she hadn't gone to anybody yet and all the abuse he put her through,
she's not going to go at all.
Right. That may be what he was thinking is, what the heck, she's not going to go to anybody if she hasn't gone yet. But the second murder of the, Joyce Malecki, that one, another odd thing because there, do we know if it has anything to do with this or not? No. But it certainly makes you wonder.
Yeah,
both bodies ended up in the same place, and Joyce was murdered, I think, 3 days after, or her body was found, or she was murdered 3 days after Sister Cathy went missing.
Right.
And then Sister Cathy was found 2 months later, but the other body was found first.
This is off topic, but it's just because I just saw it recently. It kind of makes sense with what you're saying. But I was watching something about, I can't remember his name now, but it was Malot's nephew. And then he ended up, killing somebody out in the same woods that Ivan had killed.
Forest.
Right. And I was like, that's so fucked up. And you got to put that connection together. You know what I'm saying? And that was he was trying to be just like his fucking.
Yeah.
So in this case, you never know if there's a kind of a similar situation where these people would kill Joyce Malecki and then somebody else involved in that fucking scandal or whatever.
Right.
They're like, oh man, I can fucking do that too. And fucking took out fucking.
Well, they said there were 6 murders that were unsolved in that same basic area. Around that same time. So there could have been somebody out there killing young people. I don't know. It's pretty crazy. I think one of them was even a male. They weren't all girls, I don't believe. So
crazy shit.
It may have been a boyfriend, girlfriend. I don't know. I didn't look into all of it. Like I said, it's like you get down that rabbit hole. How far do you want to dig? But I did my research and mentioned the Keepers docuseries. I thought it was good. I also watched another documentary I mentioned on YouTube. I don't remember the name of it, but I know the host was Australian. But it was a documentary about it, and he disagreed with some of it. He said that there's no solid proof that Father Meskill had anything to do with it, and that he thought it was irresponsible to make people think that he did.
But he don't know either, though.
But he does not know, of course. He also, said other things about the whole repressive memory stuff.
I would say the person that would fucking know the most would be Teresa.
Right.
Because she is the one completely connected to the situation.
Right.
And so I think I would go by what she was saying more than anybody else's.
Right,
definitely. I agree. The book that Teresa Lancaster wrote, Safe in Socks, it's very good. You can get it on Amazon. That's how I got mine. Next week, we're going to do our final episode of the year, 2021, closing out with a boom, Joey.
Ed fucking Gein.
Eddie Gein. That should be awesome.
I'm looking at the sick Rick Ed Gein fucking zombie mask right now.
Yeah.
Now, Joey, if we brought in all our Gein books and stuff, we'd probably have quite a few things to add to this table.
Yeah, I probably got you could connect so many movies and books and other things to the Gein story.
Yeah, so if you want to bring a few items, or Chris, you have any, bring them.
Yeah.
I think it'll be fun. I got a few myself.
We'll also have fucking Rebecca on.
Yeah, Rebecca Boomsock from Wisconsin Rapids is going to be on the show because her uncle was a cop that was there the night they arrested Gein in Plainfield, Wisconsin.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. She's also related to Dahmer, I believe.
Really?
Yeah,
No
Rebecca
shit.
is, yeah.
Holy fuck.
So
We'll have to have her
definitely
tell us
don't
about
want to
that.
miss that one.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to have her talk about that.
Yeah, she's been beta reading for me, so I've been sending her chapters and stuff, just like with Sean Ferrugia, and so I've been in close contact with the both of them. And Rebecca, definitely excited to come on and talk,
Fucking
so it
A.
should be good. All right, Joey, what about our friend at Page a Day? We got anything good over
I got
there?
a few page a days. I got 3 of them. There wasn't a. They did a whole big thing about fucking Leopold and Loeb.
Yeah.
Oh,
which
cool.
of course we had just done that too.
Right.
So I didn't want to go through all that, but go listen to our fucking episode on Leopold and Loeb, some fucking Chicago fucking killers and some weird shit.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Page a Day, they did have some other good ones to talk about though. The first one, every now and then I have one of these where it's like a fucking unsolved murder, like a John or Jane Doe that they talk about.
Right.
I like bringing those up every now and then because fucking if you ever see one get fucking solved later
It's
on
like,
or whatever.
fuck yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So this one they're talking about is this guy's 35 to 55, white and or Hispanic.
White and or.
That's how fucked up this. The body's fucked up if you know what I'm saying. Hair color unknown. I mean, fucking, and all he had on was a t-shirt and men's brief. So what they found was a badly burned body of a man who was found in a blueberry field in Grand Haven, Michigan in 2002. He had been killed by blunt force trauma to the head, but then he was burned in a Foot Locker. So that's why it, obviously made it fucking identifying a lot of that stuff so fucking hard to figure out.
Oh, yeah.
The Foot Locker also contained a thin cushion on which he was seated, hand tools, nylon rope, a baseball bat, and a Craftsman claw hammer. So he had been killed elsewhere and brought to the blueberry field by at least 2 people because there was no drag marks anywhere around him.
So
wow.
Right. But there were several migrant camps in the area, as well as carnivals and festivals going through this area. But no leads were discovered. And we've seen that like a couple times. Like you get some of those spots where the carnivals are going through. Like we could do an episode on carnivals.
Easily.
Oh, dude.
Because so much fun. And the shit that you don't know that happened that's connected to carnivals is probably the scariest shit because they fucking do some dirt, get the fuck out of there. Nobody ever knows a damn
that
thing.
Vince Lee
Out of
story
town,
was
dude,
about
yeah.
a carny, right?
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
that was crazy.
All right, so the next one they're talking about, and this is whenever I was talking to you guys, remember the cucumber deal.
Okay.
So this is about a woman who stuffed 69 cucumbers in her vagina.
Oh my God.
Oh, boy.
How
No,
many?
that's not what this story is about.
Like, holy fuck, dude.
No, that's not what that is. But anyway, so this is about a cucumber, though. So on December 18th, 2013, there's a 28-year-old guy named Gary Ruff. And he arms himself and walks into a bookmaker in Glasgow, Scotland, and he's trying to commit robbery on this place. So this is his weapon, a cucumber covered in a black sock. So shortly after the woman at the counter refuses his demand for cash, he's tackled to the ground by an off-duty police officer and taken into custody.
Oh, my God.
He tried to play it off as a prank, and it was done on a dare. And he was like, it was a fucking cucumber. Am I getting to jail for this? So he admitted to the assault with the intent to rob, and he got a 40-month sentence.
Yeah, that's
What
hilarious.
an idiot. Wow.
Cucumbers.
Page a day.
So no, it was funny you said cool as a cucumber.
That is
Right.
Page
All
a
right,
day.
and then the last one they were talking about, and I've heard about this one too, but I thought it was fucking a good story, is the death party. Now, this is about this gentleman named Dwayne Johnson, who's 58, and his wife, Deborah Johnson, who she's 69 at the time. Now, she had like a couple fucking heart attacks and a few other things had gone wrong with her. Like, her health wasn't very good, obviously. And she's in a fucking nursing home. And he lives in Searles, Minnesota. And so January 24th, 2019, the police show up for a noise complaint at the residence of this guy. The first thing when they get to the door is an undecipherable message scrawled on the front talking about death, God, hell, and something about a party. Like, you could see I looked it up, like, you could see this crime scene photo, like, and you're just like, what the shit? You know what I'm saying? But it was something along that lines. They fucking knock on the door, and Dwayne fucking Johnson. This isn't Dwayne Johnson, The Rock.
I was going to say Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
This is not The Rock. Okay. It's actually spelled D-U-A-N-E, so a little bit different.
A little different.
It was funny because I was trying to look up a little more about this. And
probably kept coming up with Dwayne Johnson shit. Yeah.
And you're going to know when I get done with this why I had to look it up, because it was like, you get the fuck out of here. But anyway, so they fucking knock on the door. Dwayne Johnson shows up completely naked to the cops, talking about his wife's dead upstairs. He told investigators she had been in a nursing home. He told them that she begged him to take her home so that she could spend her last days with him.
House. Yeah.
And what she wanted to do was do methamphetamines and listen to heavy metal.
Damn.
And so he was going to throw her a death party.
Oh, wow.
So they listened to Quiet Riot Metal Health for 5 days straight. Supposedly this album's just fucking going.
Oh, my God.
And it was playing as she died. And then fucking she died of an overdose. That's after toxicology. She fucking OD'd to methamphetamines.
Right.
And whenever fucking, they asked him why he didn't call the ambulance or whatever whenever this was going on, he was like, last time them motherfuckers revived her and made my life shit. So they walk in and they fucking find her body upstairs like he tells them. She's fucking wrapped in a fucking sheet with a belt tied around her to keep it closed. And the reason that he did that is because he said in the Old Testament that you're supposed to clean them, remake them beautiful, and then wrap them in linens. That's what it says.
Okay.
So that's what he's trying to do.
Oh, wow.
He also claimed that she wanted to have sex before she died, which they did. And he said, although she couldn't speak, from her body language, he could tell she liked it. And after that, she was deceased. He got found guilty of third-degree murder. But Dwayne Johnson and his death party.
Holy fuck.
God damn.
So that was the
crazy.
page of days for today.
That's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. All right. Well, we have definitely done our fair share of murdering tonight. I think it's time to crank it up and talk about some heavy metal. So, Joey, what the fuck do we need to do?
Let's get our metal on.
Just because CK has passed on, he's not done educating the masses. CK will forever be the great metal motherfucker. We're here to stomp poser ass and eradicate the planet of their kind. CK has passed the torch to us, and we will forge the fuck on. In CK's name, we will bestow metal knowledge upon all of you. Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
CK living on here in the metal segment.
Oh, yeah. He's got his
been
fucking
2 months,
Santa hat on.
He's got the Santa hat on, CCK. CK's been gone now 2 months. It's crazy. But it's good that we're able to keep him alive and keep this segment going the way it goes. So the way we've been doing this is we've been rotating which one of us has got the horns. And Chris, tonight it's you, man. So why don't you take it away, buddy?
So I decided I'm gonna do fucking Municipal Waste for the fucking metal shit.
Hell
tonight.
yeah.
They're gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, Municipal Waste is gonna fuck you up. Fuck yeah, dude. But
Yeah, great band to pick though, dude.
Yeah,
That's a good
that's
call.
what I said. He told me, I was like, great pick.
Yeah.
fuck yeah, dude.
To
But
be
yeah,
honest, I will say I know CK would have done them eventually.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
100%.
Oh, yeah. for
So it's
sure.
good to
Definitely.
fucking have somebody doing them for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. But yeah, they're a fucking crossover thrash band that started Richmond, Virginia in 2001.
Right.
So like everything they do is fucking fast as shit. Just aggressive as fucking. I love it, dude.
Right.
And I think my favorite part about fucking Municipal Waste is their party fucking attitude. That's
Right.
it's party thrash, bro.
Definitely having fun.
Yeah, like just fucking. I just love the way they just go all out with everything.
Right.
But like I said, they started in 2001, and like the only two original members they have right now are Tony Frost is the vocalist. He's always been the vocalist, and fucking Ryan Waste. Fuck yeah,
Nice.
I love that shit. And he plays rhythm guitar now, but originally he played fucking lead and rhythm guitars because it was 3-piece when they first started, right?
Okay. I'm not sure.
I think if I remember right, yeah. But the lineup now is those, like I said, Tony and Ryan, and then Philip Landfill Hall. Landfill,
Nice.
fuck yeah, dude. He's a bass player now. And then David Witt plays drums, who also play. I can't remember the other bands he plays in, but he plays with a couple other pretty well-known
Yeah.
bands. I can't fucking think
like
offhand.
most drummers do nowadays.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
playing in like
Oh,
7
dude,
or 8
like fucking
bands.
bands
you know?
for days, dude. Like,
Right. Everybody needs them.
yeah, and fucking, and then they got fucking Nick Necropolis. I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. It's like Poulos, I think. He plays lead guitar now, while Ryan just plays rhythm guitar.
That's cool.
And so like they got like I think it's 7 they got 7 full-length albums out, like studio albums.
That's
like
cool. What
fucking-
label are they on?
They were on Earache for a little bit, and right
Okay.
now they're on Nuclear Blast.
Oh, cool. Cool.
So
awesome.
So yeah, and that and they did pretty good, like how they put the albums out, because like Waste Them All was their first fucking studio album, came out in 2003, fucking, and that album they like I said, they all just ripped. They're just fucking heavy, fast, fucking thrash
When
songs.
are they due for a release, or when was the last one out?
The last one just came out. The Last Ranger is what it's called. Came out in 2019,
Okay.
and
So
so
they should be due.
yes, and it's like basically kind of a 2-year period, because like I said, Waste Them All was 2003, Hazardous Mutation was 2005, fucking, and then probably my favorite, The Art of Partying, came out in 2007.
Nice.
Like that album's so fucking nasty, dude. Like dude, I don't know.
Yeah, just a cool party band, having fun.
Definitely,
but killer
dude.
music though.
And then fucking 2009, they had Massive Aggressive, and then 2012, Fatal Feast, which is another fucking great fucking album. Fucking love that. And then Slime and Punishment, the first track on that, the video for that fucking Breathe Grease.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen the video for Breathe Grease, go watch that fucking video, dude.
Okay.
It looks like the funnest time in the goddamn world, dude. Dude, like for real. I can't even imagine like being at that video shoot. Like, I don't know how much of the drugs were real and what weren't.
Right.
But holy shit. It's fucking insane, man.
That's cool.
But yeah, and like they had like old school fucking like thrash influences like Exodus and fucking Nuclear Assault and shit, and I don't know, fucking Municipal Waste to me is just, and like Joey turned me on to them guys. Like I hadn't heard them before. He played Art of Partying for me one. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I've never
bro?
seen them live, but I bet they'd be really cool to
Oh,
see
dude.
live.
But yeah, they fucking like all their like lyrical content and shit. It's like basically my life, like alcoholism and fucking partying, dude. It's fucking
Right.
fun. I don't know,
cool.
but Municipal Waste is the shit. I love them, dude. They're
To me,
fucking
when there
badass.
was like the retro fucking return of thrash, like
Right.
it was dying out, and then all of a sudden, like fucking boom, 2000s came along, and there was a fucking revival.
Right.
And to me, Municipal Waste were like the pioneers of bringing that back, and then you had bands like Toxic Holocaust,
Toxic
and,
Holocaust.
you know, other
and then they
ones
got
that-
together and did that album. Fucking,
Exactly, yeah. But to me, Municipal Waste was the band that was like, no, this shit's still alive and fucking
Right.
well.
Yeah.
And now you look at it, you go to Full Terror, and like fucking half the bands are thrash there. And
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing, dude.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. Very, very cool. Yeah, I always always love to learn about something I don't know anything about, and I didn't know much of their history, only the music. And
Right.
I like those guys. I love thrash. That's my favorite subgenre of metal.
Yeah, good pick, Chris. A good fucking.
Yeah,
segment.
very good. Now, last week we talked about the 20th anniversary of Chuck Schuldiner being gone. I've been listening to some Death and busted out. My lost classic is Death, Sound of Perseverance.
Hell
it was
yeah.
the last one. It was amazing. I love several Death albums. I think if not all of them, but I really like, Human and Individual Thought Patterns and Sound of Perseverance. All
Leprosy's
three of those
my shit, dude.
are killer.
And Spiritual Healing's mine. That's the thing about Death
Yeah,
is
Spiritual Healing. I
everybody has a favorite Death album, and nobody's wrong.
No,
Right, exactly.
That's right.
Because all the albums sound a little bit. They're all Death, but each one has
But
its
it
own
has its
sound.
own
And Sound of
fucking- yeah,
Perseverance was definitely the most well-produced Death album, and his vocals are a little more refined. They're still Chuck, but it's more, I don't know, there's just something about it. I like the way they produced that, and it sounds good. That t-shirt place I told you guys about, I bought a Death Sound of Perseverance
Nice.
shirt because
yeah.
I've been looking for one, and all I see are the knockoffs. But this is official Death merchandise
right.
sold on this website, so that's why.
That's cool. Hell yeah.
He's got all the album covers you can get, and they look great. I'm really anxious to see.
It'll be funny if it's fucking. What's his name? So the dude that fucking goes to all the fests, he goes to Full Terror with the big ass.
Oh,
fucking,
yeah.
The big setup. That
The
dude has
huge-
fucking
He's
licensing.
got fucking everything, dude.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll share that with you guys.
Oh yeah.
So that's my lost classic, Sound of Perseverance, Death. All right, well, what have you been listening to, Joey? What's your latest? Other than the Goremonger stuff.
I'm done with that now, so I'm ready to put that out, and we're going to premiere a song, which is cool.
Yeah.
I've been jamming fucking Fudge Tunnel, Creep Diets, had that fucking going. I was also fucking that Pyrexia Gravitas Maximus, like
Yeah, you've
that
been going
album
crazy.
that's my album of the year. So fucking I've been jamming that out, and just I don't know, fucking some other stuff, Flesh Order, and
That's cool.
hell yeah.
That's cool. Stephanie, did you want to share any of the things you've been listening to lately?
No.
No, she said no.
Backstreet Boys or anything like that?
I do like the Backstreet Boys.
Chris, what about you, dude?
I fucking jammed some fucking Pantera the other day. I don't know. I was sitting there cooking fucking. It's like, I need to hear some vulgar display of power right now.
Did you
while I
read that
cook.
headline today that Sammy Hagar's claiming they approached him to replace Phil in
For real?
Pantera?
What?
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
only
I'm
reason-
like, what?
The only
Like
reason
that?
it doesn't
No way.
surprise me a little bit is for the fact that their roots were in power metal,
Right,
Right.
and
yeah,
glam
for
power.
sure.
So it's
Yeah.
like I kind of
I
see
just
it, but-
can't picture Sammy Hagar
No.
doing fucking
No, hell
Hostile.
no.
I don't know. It's
Hell
just not
no.
working.
And it was the anniversary of Dimebag's death recently too.
Yeah,
so-
yeah.
Right.
That was just like last week or the
Yeah.
week before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah,
any
I
other-
came across this fucking band called Zulu, Zulu. It's like this. They're kind of like a grind band, but I can't explain what they are. They're heavy as fuck, but they're from LA. It's fucking like all black dudes, heavy as shit, and it's fucking gangster metal, and I love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude, it's fucking badass.
Hell yeah.
That's cool. I'll tell you what, I don't even know how I stumbled on this band, Lazarus AD. The first album, The Onslaught, is absolutely unbelievable. Great thrash metal. They're from Wisconsin. The drummer died abruptly of a heart attack and they disbanded. So that was it. They only put out 2 albums. The first one, The Onslaught, I love it. The second one is okay. It's a little sing-songy for me, but The Onslaught
You listen
is
to
just
freaking King Diamond. What are you talking about?
yeah, it's just some. I can't put my
Pete's
name,
on that juggalo shit.
I can't put my name on what it is about it that I don't like about that style. Maybe I'm using the wrong word. but they have a guitar player that sings, and in the couple of the videos I watched, they both like go back and forth, and it
Oh,
was
hell yeah.
badass.
That's cool.
But then there's some stuff where the guitar player has more of a melodic voice, and And the second album, that's more predominant than it is on the first one. He doesn't really do it hardly at all on the first one, but on the second one, he does it a lot, and I'm not a big fan of it. The other one I've been listening to, FKU.
Oh, yeah, we was jamming that shit.
Hell yeah. Freddy Krueger's Underwear. How about that from Sweden, FKU. Joey, we were dying. I was sending you those videos.
Yeah.
They go out with the fucking Freddy Krueger sweater on.
Yeah, their fucking live videos are pretty cool.
Right.
Like, I always like looking at that to see a band, like how they perform live compared to the studio video.
Right.
And yeah, they're fucking cool.
Yeah.
I will say it took me a second to get used to the voice, but that happens with thrash stuff sometimes. The first time I heard Exodus, I'm sure for a second I was like, hold on, what am I hearing?
Right.
And then I love it. But with the FKU, like at first I was like, I don't know. But then I was like,
it's
no,
definitely
this is
like a power metal
for what they're
type
doing.
music.
I dig it.
It goes with
it's
the music they're doing.
And I agree.
Great
like,
sense of humor, though.
the older stuff is a little more just like straightforward thrash.
Yeah,
so.
the older stuff I liked more, but the you got to appreciate the sense of humor, the ridiculousness. You know, they got like one video where they get the Freddy Krueger claws dialing the amps up, and it's just cool.
And their Marshall amps.
The Marshall amps, yeah. And they've just got a great sense of humor.
I like it. They got the symbol, the DRI ripoff, but with Freddy's hat and glove. Right. So fucking cool.
Yeah, so check them out on YouTube, FKU, Freddy Krueger's Underwear. You got to love it. Death, I mentioned, been going off on some Death albums too. So now, Joey, speaking of that new Goremonger, you were going to play us a song.
Yeah.
And, what's the significance of this song?
I put out I got a new album coming out, fucking disfiguring the narrative, and it's all about fucking. You know,
the past 2 years.
Yeah, about the past 2 years, but I also tried to make it very diverse. With everything that I included in the album, I wanted to put a lot of stuff into it and a lot of different people, so it's cool. So this song that we did is called Get a Life and a Fucking Job, which is, I'm not fucking talking shit on no one.
Right.
It's all just fucking funny, get a laugh out of it.
Right.
But on this song, I had Shawback Nation came over, and it was fucking Chris and Michael and fucking Jeff and Derek, and fucking they helped me do Gangland vocals for the fucking the chorus. And then we also had Derek's girlfriend, Jamie. She fucking said, you know, a little something in one of the parts.
Oh, okay.
But then also at the end of the song,
end of it's great.
There's an outro to the song, and fucking our buddy Trashed It, Gummo Wallbacon, he played the banjo for it, and then I did the harmonica over it. So fucking
cool.
Yeah, this song's called Get a Life and a Fucking Job, and it'll be on the fucking Disfiguring the Narrative album. Fucking
when is that coming out?
I'm dropping the digital on Christmas Eve, so Friday. So the day after this comes out.
Okay.
And then physicals will be available after the first of the year.
Awesome. All right, well, let's play. We're going to play the whole thing, too, so check it out.
It's never too early to plan your funeral. With the world being what it is today, let's face it, you kids don't stand a chance.
Get a fucking job. Get a fucking job.
that ball, boy. Yeah.
Spark this bullet.
Spark that motherfucker, boy. Where that whiskey at? Where that whiskey at? Yeah, you fucking getting fucked up.
Yeah, hell of a ball, man.
Oh, shit.
Nation.
Oh man.
Nation.
Good stuff. Shawback Nation. Nice stuff, Joe.
Yeah,
That's awesome, man.
That was a premiere, really, too. I haven't released that yet or anything.
Awesome.
Hell
Well,
yeah,
very
dude.
cool. Thanks for sharing that here, man. That's
Fuck
cool.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening to it.
Hell yeah. Now, we always talk about the 666 Club because that's a way for people to support the show. Patreon.com/Murder Metal Mayhem, $3 a month. Get
Help
the
us out. We
episode-
need more cannoli.
We do. Yeah, we had some cannoli here in the studio. We do our metal segment. We come in eating Pop-Tarts, and then we graduated to Christmas cookies.
Hell yeah.
This
And
month
then-
we've been holiday festivities.
Yeah, then my mom sent some cookies in, so we ate those. And then Stephanie brought some cookies with her
Fuck
tonight.
yeah.
And my daughter was down in St. Louis on the hill in St. Louis, the Italian Little Italy neighborhood, and brought back some cannoli for
Yep.
me. And we shared those a little bit ago, and that's good stuff. So, Stephanie, first time eating cannoli. Did you like it?
Oh, I did. Yes,
Good.
it was really good.
Yeah, they are really
yeah.
good. All right, so yeah, support the show. We appreciate it. Link to that in the episode description.
Get one of
Also,
our shirts.
You could get the shirts through the same thing. Go down
The
to that
same
episode
shirt Pete's
description.
got on right now. Fuck
Yeah, I'm
dude.
wearing the Gaither.
No, you get the
design.
one off his back.
Yeah, I probably would for a price.
Right.
Well, actually, no, because it's the only one in this size we have left. So
shit.
I'd be without a shirt, and that would suck. I got a hoodie though. That was cool.
yeah.
CK's on this one, so it's special.
I still can't find my hoodie. I swear to God, my
Oh, my
fucking daughter
God.
has it. And she's just like,
Oh,
nope, you ain't
damn.
getting that one. She's got the. I know she's got the old one. She wears it all the time and still
That's
refuses to give
hilarious.
it back to me.
That's hilarious.
I know she's got to have the new one too. Just like I ain't telling Dad about this one. Fuck.
Also, we've been posting on Facebook our adult activity book, so you can get that. Color some serial killers, play some serial killer word searches, cool shit like that.
Speaking of serial killers, kind of. I still have the contest going on. If somebody can guess the band that I'm going to do.
Justin Morris sent an email in. I don't know if you saw that
I didn't
one,
see the
but
email.
it was not the
But
right
you didn't
band.
get it right. So I gave you, if you fucking guess what band I'm going to do next week.
That's
Now
next
it's next week. On the metal segment, then we'll send you fucking activity book,
Right,
Goremonger
some
CD,
stickers,
L12 or
Low
Low
12 CD. Yep.
So you can get a good care package. Now, last week I gave you guys a hint, and that was no lineup changes.
Right.
I'm going to give you one last hint this week. Somebody get this contest right. We'll send you this shit. It's not hard. This is the fucking clue for this week. Murder Metal Mayhem minus the mayhem.
There you
And
go.
that's your
That's
fucking
a
There
clue.
you go. Good fucking
That's a
clue,
good one.
dude.
You can go on our Facebook page and post it, or you can email me at pete@murdermetalmayhem.com. And with Joey's clue, man,
Yeah.
if you don't get it now,
Michael straight up asked me, like, dude, who the fuck is that? And I told him. I told him. Obviously, he's not whatever. He's like, why the fuck didn't I think of
I
that?
was surprised you didn't do Max Slider, honestly.
Right. Yeah, I mean, he was like, Michael walked up to me whenever we picked up Chris earlier, and he's like, you better not be doing fucking Disturbed.
So for our year-end episode next week, we're going to do our top 5 albums of 2021. We've done that in the past with CK.
Yes.
So we want to keep that tradition alive. So send us your list if you have any suggestions. We all 3 are going to come up with our own, so that should be good.
My list is pretty good.
Yeah.
It's more than 5, but it's fine.
I know. I got a few honorable mentions, yeah.
But yeah, I'll have a top 5 out of those, though.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. We have done plenty of
Well, you
metal
already know
tonight.
number 1 is.
Stephanie,
Yeah.
you've been hanging in there with us
Hell
with a
yeah.
smile. So what the fuck do we need to do, Stephanie?
Let's get our mayhem on.
Municipal waste is gonna fuck you up. 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 Municipal waste is gonna fuck you up.
Ho, ho, ho. 419 Punky Brooks coming back at you to remind you it's coming up on that time of year where you got to buy shit for your loved ones. Don't leave them out. Well, I got a Christmas album, Christmas in the 419, that drops on Christmas Eve this year. Dropping straight fire, heat, 419, all the shit that you want. You can hear me sing classic holiday jams with a 419 twist like Frosty the Pimp, Lil Cracker Boy, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Crackhead, and Jingle Hose. Let your boy Punky keep that holiday cheer going on and bring the 419 into your own area code this Christmas. Ho, ho, 419, ho, bitches, Punky out.
Oh my God, dude.
Punky never gets old.
No, it does not.
so
Punky's
good,
419. Christmas in the 419. Wow, if you're looking for an idea for grandma, that's
Right.
it.
Grandma be jamming that shit.
Oh yeah. Before that, of course, Municipal Waste
It's gonna fuck you up.
is gonna fuck
Yeah,
you up.
fucking
Born to party,
baby.
Good stuff. Great job on that, Chris. That was good.
Yeah.
So, a lot of fun. Good,
Hell yeah,
good
dude.
choice. All right, and speaking of that, Chris, you said you had a little mayhem for us tonight.
Just a short story that just happened the other day, like just over the weekend. So I was at my girlfriend's house, sitting on the porch, smoking a cigarette, and fucking. She's at work, and these two dudes come walking up the sidewalk and shit, and they just stop and they're like, "Hey, excuse me, do you know if your neighbor's the next door or home or what's up?" I'm like, dude, I don't fucking know. I don't know anything at all. I don't even know if anybody lives there.
Right.
And so dude's like, well, they're part of our congregation. I was like, oh shit. And I fucking happen to look, and dude's straight up holding the Bible in his hand and shit. I'm like, God damn it. fucking, they're like, okay, well, we're just here passing around the word of Jesus. I'm like, hail Satan. They're like, what? like straight up looked at me like, wait, he really say that basically? I was like, yeah, hail Satan. They're like, really? I was like, yeah, I don't want to hear your shit. Keep on walking, dude. And they just like, their faces just like,
Wow.
Okay. And they just turned
shocked.
around and fucking kept walking. I was just like, I ain't
I
trying
didn't realize that. I thought that was at your place, so it was at the girlfriend's. That's even funnier.
Yeah,
that's good.
I wasn't even at my house.
That's great. I had a similar thing happen when I was living in Danbury in the apartment I lived in before I moved out here. And you had to buzz in to get into the apartment building.
Right.
So when somebody knocked on the door,
Somebody had already let them in the building.
yeah, it was somebody that was in the building already, usually another neighbor, not like somebody from the outside.
Right.
And so they're knocking on my door. It was kind of startling. So I went to the door and I looked through the peephole, and I didn't know who they were. So I just kind of pulled the door back a little bit, with the chain on.
Right.
Because it was not the best part of town. And I was like, what do you want? And it was two people standing out there. They're like, oh, we're with the Jehovah's Witnesses, and we wanted to talk to you about, whatever. And I was like, I'm not interested. And I slammed the door. And then, because they woke me up,
Right. Pissed off, fuck you.
And then they started pushing the pamphlets under
watchtower.
the door, and I was kicking them back under the door, and I was like, "Get the fuck out of here!" And I'm like kicking the shit back. And I would have loved to have seen the expression on their face because I was like screaming like the way I could scream. So
that's fucking hilarious,
was
dude.
pretty
What's
crazy.
funny too, dude, is like after Courtney got home from work, I told her about what happened. She's like, dude, that's funny because they came by one time and I was out here drinking a few beers or whatever, and then she's like, I just acted like I was completely wasted. She's like, I'm so fucking fucked up, like fucking just acting all retarded to them, and they're just like, we're here up. She's like, nope, leave now.
Yeah, I'll tell you some mayhem. Fucking this is Stephanie though, so I'm glad that she's here. But since we did the Keepers episode, and Stephanie, you fucking went to a Catholic school.
Yep.
Who was the creepiest guy in your school? Tell them who it was, or at least what he was.
The magician teacher.
The magician
Yeah. Oh boy.
But what was he a teacher of?
He was a math teacher.
Yeah. Oh, so a math teacher, but he was a magician.
What?
Oh boy.
And what did he what is he trying to get you to do?
I really got to tell this.
You
story.
got to tell.
Yeah. I want to hear
Just
now.
don't
I'm
use your
intrigued.
real name.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
Well,
he's passed away
yeah,
now.
he passed away last year.
okay.
So, but we had this creepy magician,
Right.
math teacher, and he had this long, greasy ponytail, and he would put on magic shows at libraries. Well, when I graduated high school, he's like, "Yeah, I want you to be my assistant in one of the library shows." I'm like, I'm 18, so I'm like, okay, all right, it's fine. It's in a library around children. I'll be all right. He says, well, just, meet me at my house and then we'll drive
Oh, okay. So it keeps ramping it up.
the library together. And I'm like, all right, his wife's home, but he's down in the basement. He's like, yeah, here's this witch costume. By the way, I'm embarrassed of this, but he has a picture of me in the costume. He has pictures of all these different girls in the same costume.
Holy shit. Are you serious?
Boy.
At the library being his assistant.
Oh wow.
But he's like, yeah, do you sing? And I'm like, no. He's like, well, I want to pay you to for singing lessons, and I can play the piano and you can sing. And he gets on the piano and starts singing "When I Think About You, I Touch Myself." And I'm like, I gotta get the fuck
right,
out.
Yeah,
Oh
we
my
out
God.
this bitch. Nope. Holy
The
shit,
math
dude.
teacher gone magician.
Yes.
So watch out for Catholic schools
Yeah.
everywhere.
God
Sounds
damn,
like
yeah,
it's
that's
fraught
not
with
fucked up,
fucking
dude.
danger. Oh my
Damn.
God, that was good. That was good. All right, the Creation of Chaos 3-book I put together came out in June. I've got the audio book out there on Audible, iTunes, and Amazon. You can also buy it physically from me at creationofchaos.com. You can also buy it locally at the Painted Wraith. We've been talking about them a lot. Great shop in downtown Bloomington, Illinois.
Awesome place.
Yeah, great store. Oddities, all sorts of weird stuff. Witchy type stuff. Tarot cards.
Dude, they got all that
serial
fucking
killers,
crazy shit.
all
Like-
sorts of stuff.
Like the conventions and shit you go to, they got that
Yeah.
in the shop, so it's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
stuff.
it's really cool. So go there if you want to buy the book there. So also, and it's available as with all my books at the Peoria Public Library, and they also sell them in their bookshop downstairs. So check that out. Now I wanted to play a clip from the interview that I did recently with Kelsey Winter of Winter's Gore.
Our newest sponsor.
Yeah, she and I sat down on Zoom and talked. This is a 5-minute clip of a 30-something minute interview. That one is going to fully be released on New Year's Eve, so a week from Friday. So I'm going to play that for you now and hear a little bit of that conversation. Now, can you let our listeners know some of the cool things that you make? Because it's not just the keychains. You do a lot. You sent me this Bundy candle, which I thought was cool.
Yeah.
And then this is, I think, a Christmas it's a Christmas ornament, which is just awesome. So I love that. And so what else are you doing over there at Winter's Gore? I see some stuff behind you.
Yes, I do. I tried to set up mostly all my stuff. So with the candles, we don't actually make those anymore, and those actually were made by my husband, which is weird. I do the gore, and he's making the candles. Right?
But it's a Bundy candle, so we're going to give him a pass.
Yeah. So I
It smells really good, too. I thought the scent of the candle smelled good.
Yeah, I tried to. So I have a Gacy one, and we did cotton candy for Gacy.
Nice.
Charles Manson, I think we did Dragon's Blood for him.
Perfect.
I have Ed Gein. I think it was like Amber Essential or something like that. So yeah, those are the candles, and I only have a few of those left. But I do earrings. So
Nice.
I only do the severed thumbs just because thumbs are smaller. You're not gonna have a huge
that's
earring.
perfect. That's
But yeah,
hilarious.
for earrings,
Now, do you get weird looks when you wear this stuff? Because I'm sure you like bring it to like your local Casey's or your convenience stores.
I always bring my stuff to work, and I just work in a factory, just a day job I have, and everybody just, I don't know, they cringe at it, and it's like,
I'm sure that chick is nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, I did these for Christmas, just something Christmassy.
Yeah,
ornaments.
That's really cool.
I do lamps now. So far, my lamps and my keychains are my number one sellers.
Really?
You said I could move the.
Yeah, I see that lamp. Oh wow, that one's cool.
So this tall one.
Oh, that's sick.
My new one, and then I have like that right there.
Right.
Skull, and then
I saw that one. That's cool. That reminds me kind of the ones Tony does like that. We have one in the studio.
Yep.
Sick though.
But other than that, I do.
The fishing lures just blew my mind.
Oh yeah, the fishing lures. Yeah, me and my husband are big. We love fishing.
Okay.
And we love fishing. So, people have actually caught pretty decent sized northern and muskie. And
I saw there was a picture on your website of one of your customers with the fishing lure in the fish. Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That was cool.
And I think it was through the ice too.
Oh wow.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's really cool. I really like that. Yeah, that's interesting. And I'm sure as you do what you do, you'll find things that, maybe the most unlikely thing that caught fire will catch fire with you. And we've done that with the podcast, different things we've tried. Sometimes they succeed and other times, they go down in flames, but you learn by just trying it out, Yep. Now, what kind of, I know you seem like, I think everything I've read about you says you're self-taught, but have you had any other than doing it on your own, have you had any formal training in any of this stuff?
No training. And everybody asks me that. They're like, oh, you had to went to school for this. I'm like, no, just YouTube tutorials and kind of.
That's amazing.
Do my own thing with it. I'll watch somebody do something and I'll kind of put my own work towards it and just practice. And yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely something to be said for that. Being self-taught the way you do. That is, you just, like we were just saying, trial and error. And,
exactly.
The amazing thing about technology and YouTube videos, I mean, I use it for writing still, and I've been writing for 40 years. I still learn things from watching tutorials and, different. You can always learn something. No matter how good you think you are at something, you can always learn. So that's definitely cool. That's really cool. I know different artists I've talked to. Some are self-taught, and then some gone to different, makeup, art for, movies and stuff like that. And is the gore business something that you're doing year round? I know, obviously, Halloween.
The fucking gore business. That's what I'm talking about.
There you go.
Fucking gore business.
Kelsey Winter, that was cool. And you get to hear the whole thing on New Year's Eve. But winterscore.com, we appreciate it.
Yeah, man, we got some of our shit fucking decorated up in the fucking
we got it hanging
studio.
off the light.
It looks badass.
Cool keychains with the fingers and good stuff. All right, we have got a killer cage match tonight, guys. That's where we take a list of 70 killers, 70 objects for them to fight with, ranging from brass knuckles to two-headed dildos and all sorts of craziness.
Crack whores.
All sorts of insanity. And so the listeners give us some random numbers, and that's how we decide who's fighting and what they're fighting with, Chris.
Hell yeah. And once again, we have Rebecca Boomsock.
Hell yeah.
Gummo, the banjo player, wall bacon, and fucking Michael Bain for fucking goddamn Canada.
Yeah, we appreciate it, guys.
Oh yeah, thank you very much.
And we got a good one going on in the cage tonight, Joey. Who's up against each other here?
You want to play a little football? You want to go up against O.J. Simpson?
Right?
Juice.
He's going to go up against fucking Kansas City's butcher, Robert Berdella.
Brutal. Berdella was so nasty.
Oh, yeah.
But OJ was a bad, crazy motherfucker.
Yeah,
so
he's big old horse too.
Yeah, you got these two. It's been an interesting matchup. And Chris, they got a couple of objects to fight with here.
Yes, they do. They got a pair of needle-nose pliers and a fucking rhinoceros horn, which fucking just go rob the taxidermy shop or what the hell's going on, dude?
I don't know, but the variable.
I think that shit's illegal too, ain't it?
I think it is.
Like
yeah. George W.
Rhinoceros horns. I'm pretty sure if you get caught with one of those,
well,
you're probably
in
going
the
to be
killer
fucked.
cage, though, dude. Who cares, right? But the variable's interesting, guys. George W. Bush after snorting 2 lines of cocaine.
That's a fucked up Bush right there.
That's right. So,
Shit,
Chris,
that ain't nothing for him.
How big are these lines of coke?
I don't know. Chris, what do you think here, man? OJ and Robert Berdella.
All right. As far as just straight up fighting, fucking OJ, like if back in his prime when he was like,
he's an athlete.
Yeah, he's an athlete. He's
Big
coming
dude.
at Berdella and just
Destroy
stomping him into the ground. I'm gonna give it to OJ. He's gonna come out and fucking do the coke with Bush anyway. He probably gave Bush the coke. They're fucking kicking it. They're doing the drugs. Fucking, he just grabs a rhinoceros horn. He just starts stabbing Bordella like a motherfucker, like he did fucking with his old lady and shit.
Right.
So he just killing. I'm giving it to OJ just on the simple fact he's way bigger, more athletic, and he's just gonna overpower fucking Robert Berdella no matter what.
Interesting. Joey, what do you think, dude?
They're going to ring that bell and fucking George Bush is going to smash them 2 lines of fucking coke. They're pretty big, so he's fucking stoked on this fight. He's sitting ringside. OJ and fucking Berdella, they fucking go for them fucking weapons, and OJ goes to grab those needle-nose pliers, but they're hard as shit to fucking handle with them tight-ass gloves on. So he can't fucking use them. So Berdella fucking takes that fucking rhinoceros horn and slams it straight up fucking OJ's ass.
Oh, you know he
and fucking starts pummeling him. Now, I will also say that fucking I believe that Robert Berdella had a lot more mean streak in him than OJ probably ever did.
Oh, probably.
So he's going to come with the hostility. But the problem
And
is
he's a sadist,
he
like
is.
a motherfucker.
So the problem is after fucking Berdella fucking decimates OJ with that rhinoceros horn, then George Bush is going to be so geeked up and he's going to be like, cool, now you're fucking going to the execution chamber. We're going to fucking fry you in Huntsville, Texas.
Oh, damn.
So Bush is going to win regardless because he's fucking about that one.
All right, nice.
Yeah, I kind of like what Chris was saying with the physical, obviously the physical thing, but Berdella was nasty, very sadistic. If he's getting a hold of that rhinoceros horn, he's going to cause some damage. And, you know, he would get those needle nose and do some awful shit.
He did, yeah. I mean,
he was pretty sadistic,
good about
man,
torture,
the shit that he
so.
did to those guys. So pretty bad stuff. I mean, hell, that last dude jumped out of a 2-story window to get away from him. So pretty crazy stuff. But, yeah, so interesting matchup tonight. Always love doing the Killer Cage match. The listeners love it, too. So very, very cool. All right, well, we have done plenty of mayhem tonight, so guys, I think it's time to hit the outro. Fuck yeah, Joey.
Pyrexia.
Pyrexia, Apostles to the Grave. That's from the new one. I know you've been
Graffiti
talking
Smectus.
about them lately. God damn, that's some nasty shit.
Yeah, it's a band I've always loved. Everything they put out, and they fucking came out with this one, a New York band.
Yeah,
fucking,
New York death metal.
That style is just fucking brutal as shit.
It is brutal, man. All right, well, good call. Bumper music tonight, Municipal Waste, Pyrexia, and Low 12. And bonus tonight,
You got
a
you a
full
full Goremonger
Goremonger
song.
track.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Exclusive for right now.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
So very cool off your new album coming out.
Yes.
Very, very awesome. thank you, Stephanie, for coming in here
Oh,
tonight,
yeah, thanks, Steph.
chatting with us,
Yeah.
and bringing
Thank you
some
for having
cookies.
me.
We appreciate it very much.
Hell yeah.
Also,
419.
419. Thanks to Teresa
shit.
Lancaster for doing that interview.
Yes.
And for talking with me about this subject, the keepers. So don't miss the full interview I did with her as a bonus episode tomorrow, the day after this episode comes out on Friday. Thank you to Winters Gore for sponsoring the show.
100%. Thank you, Kelsey.
Yeah, and we played a little clip of that interview. Wintersgore.com, though, to get your stuff ordered from her and the
you can
full interview.
Go on Facebook, too, and look up Winters Gore and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, for sure. Definitely pictures and everything. Dude.
Yeah, she's been posting a lot of good pictures lately,
yeah.
so
Fuck yeah.
very, very cool. So Christmas Eve, or New Year's Eve, I'm sorry, is when that interview will post, the full interview. The metal segment music is by who, Joey?
Cry6.
Hell yeah, Chris, Murder Metal Mayhem intro.
Motherfucking Low 12. What
You
up?
know it.
Did you
Tonight,
see fucking
Sex and Sermon tonight.
Oh, hell yeah.
2 fucking Low 12 songs tonight.
fucking whatchamacallit, Sick Rick, who we got a bunch of his masks.
Oh,
in here.
yeah.
Oh, the Macabre show?
Yeah, he went
Hell
to the
yeah.
Holiday of Horrors. Did you see fucking?
Yeah.
Because he did like 3 of their masks for the
Yeah,
show.
he did Ramirez, fucking Geen, and
the fish
the-
one with the horns.
Yeah,
the fish one with the horns.
And then
yeah.
they fucking hooked him up like this huge care
Yeah.
package. for
Dude, I
doing
saw
it.
those fucking albums he
Dude,
got.
like
that
the
are all
Dahmer
signed in it.
vinyl, all autographed.
Dude,
like,
Yeah.
so he got some
Pretty cool.
badass shit from him, dude.
Yeah,
Fuck
so
Yeah,
that's
I think
cool.
they
Sick
signed the
Rick.
fish mask for him.
No, they
Yeah.
signed pretty
That was
much. They
cool.
signed everything, dude.
Yeah,
like
that was cool.
shit was badass.
Yeah, definitely very cool. So thank you, though, to everybody out there listening. We keep seeing those numbers rolling in and appreciate you guys checking it out. Chris, what about that first comment there?
We got Paula Morrison says, "You guys fucking rock. Love the episode you did on witchcraft. I wish I lived close
lot of
by."
people did.
Right? Yeah, for sure. Says, "I wish I lived close by so I could check out the Painted Wraith." And I'm not sure. Do they have their website up yet?
I'm not sure if they do or not.
But like their shopping website? But, dude,
PaintedWraith.com.
but yeah, it'd be
I'm
awesome
Not
if you
sure. I
fucking-
know they're on Facebook.
She was super
Instagram.
active on Etsy, but then
Etsy.
whenever they open the fucking the shop,
Right,
they're
right.
so busy there,
Right,
they
it's
don't
hard
have
to
time
keep
for
up
the
with it.
Etsy. Yeah.
which is awesome. I'm glad
Yeah,
that
they
no,
do.
that's awesome that their
Yeah.
actual physical store is fucking
Yep.
popping, dude.
Yeah, that witchcraft episode we did down there, that just passed 1,500 listens.
nice.
So, yeah, there's a lot of people digging on that. All right, Joey, the next one. Love this name here.
Donnie Kills Posers. He commented, what was it? The Pit and the Poser, FKU.
Yeah,
the band
FKU,
we're
the
talking
Pit
about.
and the Poser.
But
Oh, yeah.
Donnie Kills Posers, he commented, "I'm a new listener from Winnipeg. Loved hearing Votive on the show. Keep it coming with the Canadian death metal." Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah,
Hell yeah,
man.
dude.
And then I like this one. Bend Over 666 commented, "I've been listening for a couple months now. I heard about you from a buddy I work with in Elizabeth, New Jersey. I can't get enough." So that's
We're going to give you more.
that's awesome, man. And then Stephanie, you want to read the last one there?
Yeah. Darby Gillis commented, "My friends love you guys. If you tour, you need to come to Houston."
The tour.
H-Town, get screwed up.
Yeah, that would be interesting. The Murder Metal Mayhem tour.
That'd
That
be
would
fucking
be kind of crazy.
What?
Well, check out murdermetalmayhem.com. Listen to those past episodes. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Been posting some new video interviews. Did that Warfect one. Did the Rob Dukes one. I got the one coming up with Teresa Lancaster and the one with Kelsey Winter. These are all coming out on that YouTube channel, so subscribe to it. Check us out pretty much anywhere you listen to podcasts. Leave us comments. Rate the show if you can. We appreciate it. And also that 666 Club.
Yep.
Patreon.com/Murder Metal Mayhem. Just $3 a month. You can go to creationofcast.com and mention that to pick up one of my books. I also sell them on Amazon, but if you buy them from me, you get the poster and the bookmark. If you like audiobooks, Chris, you're a big audiobook guy.
Right.
I've been kind of getting into it myself. Audible, iTunes, or Amazon for the audiobook
Got them all
for Creation
on
of
all
Chaos.
there. Get it.
Yeah. We can't let him go without hearing one more Christmas song. Classic karaoke I did a few years ago. Love destroying the nice classics. So here's one So crank it up, and until next time, keep one foot in the gutter.
And please keep your godly hands to your fucking self.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. It stands with no place to go. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. It doesn't show signs of stopping, and I brought some corn for popping. The lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight, how I'll hate going out in the storm. But if you really hold me tight, all the way home I'll be warm. The fire is slowly dying, and my dear, we're still goodbying. But as long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight, how I'll hate going out in the storm. But if you really hold me tight, all the way home I'll be warm. The fire is slowly dying, and my dear, we're still goodbying. But as long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow. Let it snow!
Mother, man.